There is nothing that beats good home-cooked barbecue. Since 1941, whether you want real Texas brisket, Virginia ham, southern pulled pork, or fall-off-the-bone ribs, Dickey's Barbecue is the place to go. Come visit us today at 5701 President George Bush Turnpike, Suite 110 in the Target Shopping Center. For lip-smacking, rib-tickling, knee-slapping, foot-stomping, great-tasting barbecue, come see us at Dickey's Barbecue today.
Ever want to know why Bill and I look so good on our broadcast? Check out K West Designs on Facebook. You can take a look at our pictures and see the quality of the work that comes from K West Designs, especially if you have a special occasion. Just get on Facebook, look up K West Designs right in the search bar, contact them directly for questions or anything that you may have regarding your personal design. Liberty Air and Heat. Everybody knows what the Texas Heat can do to your air conditioning and heating systems. That's why you need the experts that deliver the best and most honest service in the Rowlett area. We provide the high-quality air conditioning and heating services that keep you more comfortable when you need it. So contact Liberty Air and Heat at 469-678-9444 or visit them on the web at libertyairandheat.com. Find out how Merchant Masters, DFW, specializing in small business companies, can help you save money and protect your customers' information with our credit card processing and point-of-sale system, including financial savings, lowest possible rates, superior technology, and improved support. Or contact John Beeman, Merchant Masters, DFW, different from all the rest. At Nest Egg Wealth Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement failed to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. It's simply not a benefit that you start receiving at age 62. If you would like a complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, please give our office a call today at 972-412-6064 or visit us on the web at nesteggadvice.com. Go Custom. Get happy. Tell us what you love. We're your local neighborhood window covering experts who truly understand your needs, so we deliver the perfect solution for your home. So check out Budget Blinds of Rowlett, serving Rowlett, Wiley, Saxe, and Garland. Give them a call at 972-722-9300. Budget Blinds of Rowlett, where we listen to our customers' needs.
At the Jerry Bullitt Training Center, we truly believe experience is the best teacher. With over 50 combined years of knowledge and experience in sports performance and athletic training, our coaches understand exactly what it takes to achieve your goal. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their brand new facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett. Let Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors help you restore your home to its like-new condition. Need a contractor? Let us be your first stop as well as your last. Want to see what kind of work we do? Check out our Facebook page and you can see the craftsmanship you'll receive and expect from Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors. Give Rodney James a call at 214-536-2607 or check him out on the web at www.buffalocreekdoorsandfloors.com.
Are you looking for a new home? Want to know what your house could sell for in today's market? Then you need to contact Realtor Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Rockwall. Whether you're buying, selling, leasing, or investing, he can help you get where you need to be. That's 214-236-2914. Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group, Keller Williams Rockwall.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costco Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance to save a ton. Costco Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostcoInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on.
Yeah, but is it fresh?
Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show, your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk. Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna, and the best co-host anyone could ask for, Cuervo. We cover it all: NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports. Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
All right, everybody, welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we are here on our Sunday morning tradition. It continues on into our 10th year, getting close to our 11th, and Cuervo's 10-year anniversary is in April. So we've been doing it long time here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Hey, and everybody, guess what? Happy holidays. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday that are out there. And I see you, Bill. I'll get you here in just 1 second as we are here. Just to let everybody know, just a little bit of change of what we're going to do. I had it set for the NFL. Of course, we're going to do that. Cuervo's going to be running a little bit late, but there has been some big news as far as the indoor games. As you know, on the Couch Potato Sports Show, we cover a lot of stuff as far as that is concerned up on our show. So that being said, let's go ahead and bring on, it is the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna. Good morning, my friend. How are you? What's going on?
Not much. I'm just actually here in Arizona right now, enjoying the holiday. I'm sure if you are attached to my Facebook or my Twitter, you would see so much snow here in Arizona.
Definitely. I did see that and very much enjoy seeing those. And so I'm glad you were able to join us, as Cuervo's running a little bit late, but a subject that I wanted to be able to talk about, I have not had time to do so, as you and I are really kind of in deep when it comes to indoor football and what we do as far as what you're doing with your team. We'll talk about that in a moment. And of course, with me being the director of operations of Champions Indoor Football, some really bad news. And I say bad news because it really doesn't do Champions Indoor Football, the Indoor Football League, as well as the NAL. Doesn't do any of us any good with the announcement of the bankruptcy and pretty much of going out of business there for the AFL. That's not good news for any of the brands that are out there, is it, Bill?
No, absolutely not. I mean, this league was 30 years old, third longest football league in American football. Even though it's indoor football, it's still football. Third longest league of any type of football for U.S. football. So it's really sad that it came down to that. After 30 years, you and I. I've been watching it since early 90s. I started with the Rattlers in 92 and been watching it ever since. And then you see all these other leagues pop up, and to see it end the way it did is obviously disappointing.
Definitely disappointing, and it doesn't do us any good. As you and I both know, when we have been part of this whole situation as far as in the indoor game and the reputation of the indoor game not really necessarily having a great reputation, I guess you can say. The AFL was kind of like the NFL of the indoor leagues as far as that was concerned. And our leagues were also feeder leagues to the Canadian Football League. So, to talk a little bit about the reputation of indoor football itself and what your take up on that reputation is now, where we are right now as far as moving forward in the.
Well, and you know what? The AFL, when it came out, it was different than regular football. It was, first of all, it was in the spring, so it wouldn't interfere with NFL. It's indoor. which helps during the summer months, especially in locations that get really hot during the summer months. But it was a good entertainment sport for families. It was a lot more interactive than you get in the NFL. You can interact with the players. You can interact with the coaches, and you're on top of the action. I mean, you have players flying into the stands. It was just something so different than what you see in the NFL. So it was really, a lot of people didn't hear about it. It was one of those things that you had to take somebody to see what it was like, and then when you take somebody, they fall in love with it.
Yeah, try to explain it.
And then all of a sudden they're hooked. I mean, that's the way I got. We were in downtown Phoenix, and my mom and my sister, and we were like, "Hey, let's go watch this game. It's the Arizona Rattlers. It was the first season," and we went, and we all got hooked. I got season tickets. My mom got season tickets. We all did. And then, so I mean, it sat there, it kept growing, and then Kurt Warner put the AFL on the map. After the '97 season, he got picked up by the Rams. He was with the Iowa Barnstormers, and he made the AFL known nationwide, and not to the extremes of one of the major sports, but he put it on the map. And all of a sudden, the Kurt Warner story came out, how he was bagging groceries at a grocery store, and then he got on with the Iowa Barnstormers, and the rest is history. So it really made a difference. And then it made it, we went into these feeder leagues. We had the IFL. Really originally after the AFL, they had the AFL 2.
Yes.
And that was big. They had like almost 30 teams nationwide. And then they kind of separated into their own leagues. And that's where we're at now. Now it's just a matter of where we're at. So, arena football is not dead, but it doesn't have the backing, the marketing backing that you see like with the NFL and the bigger leagues.
I kind of when I talk about that, as far as the AFL was kind of like the NFL, and the teams that are going down, in reality, they become the feeder systems to the AFL, the minor leagues of indoor football. That would be the leagues that we're seeing out there right now, heading into the AFL, or mark that, the NAL, the IFL, and Champions Indoor Football. So that having been said, what do you think what kind of reputation hit with the bankruptcy of arena football does to the other leagues, such as the IFL, such as the NAL, and of course, Champions Indoor Football? Well, it's too soon to tell. But right now, if you look at the strengths of the leagues, obviously the IFL right now is got the higher strength. It's got 13 teams. It's right now. It's the league that people are looking at. The issue with the AFL players is right now these leagues are holding off signing any AFL players. Or I mean, any AFL players. Yeah.
I've heard that these leagues are saying, well, let's hold off on the players, because one thing that the AFL had these other leagues don't have is a players union.
Yes.
And that's what's making it challenging for these players, because the AFL is in limbo due to a lawsuit. So these leagues are really saying, hold off on these players. With that being said, there's something new coming out this spring for the next season. That's the XFL. There's a lot of these players from the AFL that are trying to get on with XFL teams. So, there's some good opportunities for leagues that are out there right now. There's really 3 strong leagues that you mentioned with the IFL, the NAL, and the CIF. So it's still, I think, to me, too early to tell. I mean, with the bankruptcy, that just and the shutting down the league, that just happened a week ago. News came out about a month ago that things were, in limbo with the AFL because of this lawsuit. Now that they've actually filed for bankruptcy, we still don't know what's going to happen with these players.
Well, let's take a look at the NAL. I don't know. To be honest, Bill, is the work that I do for Champions Indoor Football, it's really hard for me to keep track of the other leagues. I really do. People go, well, no, you're knee deep into it. You don't understand. So that's, first of all, number one. Talk a little bit about the NAL. I know of the teams, obviously, because your association with the NAL and the last team that you were an assistant coach on being the Carolina Cobras.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of uncertainty. You know, when the season ended, there was a struggle with a couple teams, Orlando and New York. There was a lot of problems with them internally. Orlando had a lot of turmoil between players and ownership.
Yep.
So we didn't know what the status was going to be with them. Right now, your strength on that league was the main four teams, which was Carolina, Massachusetts, Jacksonville, and Columbus. What was uncertain was the other teams, New York, which ended up not coming back to date. Something could happen. They haven't officially said that they're not coming back, but I think the league is preparing not have them back.
They should.
There's just a lot of issues with New York, and I was actually victimized on it, but it had a theft issue during one of our games there. They had arena issues. It wasn't a regulation arena field. And then Orlando, like I mentioned, Orlando had just a lot of internal issues, not on the field issues. But we've got notification that Orlando is under now new ownership. So a lot of positive things coming out there. But and then also they've also picked up two teams from the AAL,
yes,
which is West Virginia and the Jersey Flight. So so as of right now, they have a total of 7 teams in the NAL, which is going in the right direction from when it was 2 months ago. 2 months ago, they were even uncertain if that league was even going to continue. So now they're going in the right direction. Like I said, I don't expect New York to be back. The main Mammoths, they were talking about they were going to come back, and then that news kind of just fizzled out. So I think the NAL is still strong. And I think it's going to continue get some growth in it in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and moving into the IFL, which is part of the team that you are part of now, since your disassociation with the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Cobras. You move on along with the head coach of that team, that being Billy Back. We've got a long relationship with Billy Back, all the way back to the Texas Revolution. Him picking up the head coaching job over there in Spokane as they bring back a new team. Talk a little bit about the bringing back of the new team, and talk a little bit about what your expectations are for the Spokane Shock as they move forward.
Well, Spokane Shock was a great organization when there had a great backing with their fans, were successful on the field, and Sam Adams, formerly with the Seahawks and the Baltimore Ravens, is your majority owner of the team, and excuse me, and brought the team back. And first thing he did was reach out to Billy, and Billy did some investigation and just wanted to see if it's something that would work for him. Because for him, it was a big change because he was moving his family across country.
Oh yeah,
further from home. So he had to make sure that it was going to be a good fit, not just for football, but for his family, and which it was. Sam Adams has been great to Billy and the family, and helped them get out there and find their house. And but the organization, as soon as the team was announced, there was rumors swirling for months about it.
Months.
Yeah, when they finally announced it, they it was huge. Matter of fact, that very first day they sold almost 400 season tickets. when they announced that they're coming back. So
That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's a rowdy arena. The fans just so far, getting my name out there with the organization, the fans have just been very welcoming, and you could tell there's a whole bunch of them. They have a Saturday morning group that meets for breakfast every Saturday morning. So I think there's going to be some great opportunity. We've brought in some great talent. We've reached out and had some great talent. Obviously, there's a core that came from Carolina with Billy, and then there's some guys that were first season with us there in Carolina. They're also coming with us too. And there's a lot of questions like, okay, what's going on? Why are these guys coming to them? People are committed to Billy, just as I am. I've been working with Billy for 7 years now, and
7 years.
Yeah, yeah, and it's because he has your back. He takes care of you. I mean, the whole fiasco in New York against the New York streets when the team got robbed and all these players lost all their money, and these players, they don't make a lot of money. They don't have a lot of money. And when over $3,000 was taken from just the players, he had their back. He stopped that game. He sacrificed himself for it, and players see it. They really do. People want to play for Billy, and that's why they follow him. They'll follow him all over the country.
Yeah, they definitely have it. Talk a little bit about the IFL, as far as what you think that you can expect, and also the fans in Spokane. They've got a total different thing to be expectations. The Nets will be gone as the AFL. That's actually a trademark situation where the Nets are on the side, so we won't see that up in Spokane. How do you think that'll affect the fan, the fan interaction, the fan experience there in Spokane? Do you think it's going to be something that they are going to be open to, or you think it's going to take away from the game since they're so used to seeing the Nets? Same thing as when the Arizona Rattlers went from the AFL and went into there. As a lover of the game, okay, before I even got involved with Champions Indoor Football, I was a lover of the AFL because we didn't know each other, but you and I were almost at every Arizona Rattler game that was out there. We never even ran into each other until we got to Texas. But that whole thing, what do you think the experience is going to be for those fans up there? You think it'll be enough to keep them away, or do you think the intrigue of the Shock will go ahead and be able to bring those people in?
You know what? They just want football up there. They want arena football. And one thing that there was that I didn't mention was the Shock left 4 years ago.
Yep.
But they brought a team up there for 2 years right after that, which was a Spokane Empire. So those fans got to see what it was like without the Nets. So,
good point. I forgot about that.
So they were used to it. Now they didn't get the following that the Shock did, but I think for these fans, I think they're just ready to have arena football back up there. It was such a great backing that the team had up there. So I think that's not going to factor much. I don't think so. And rumor is, and I can't confirm it, but I'm hearing that they might bring the Deuce to the IFL, which brings a whole nother unique factor to it. We had the Deuce in the NAL, and the Deuce is on the kickoff. If you kick the field goal, you get 2 points. So that's a whole different factor. So if they bring that to the IFL, that'd be a new little wrinkle that's going to be that'll make the IFL a lot fun.
It definitely makes the game more exciting, and also when you're down 9, it makes a total different thing, total different situation for that as far as that's concerned. So I'm very interested in that as far as how that will work.
Yeah, you can be down by 10.
Yep.
With 5 seconds left in the game. Score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion, and then kick the Deuce, and all of a sudden you're tied.
Yep.
So definitely, a lot of things have to happen, but it just brings a new wrinkle to the game.
Well, the speed of the game. In reality, that's one of the things when you got 30 seconds left in an indoor football game, unlike in the NFL, that game is not over.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that's one of the intrigues about indoor football. Is one of the reasons why I love indoor football is because just because you're down, down a few points with 30 seconds to go, it is not over. It's one of the big things that now I don't know if you can. I'm going to dig here as the journalistic reporter that I am. I have to ask this because I'm going to tell you. I would say it was about 5 years ago. I interviewed a man by the name of Adam Shackelford. Now, anybody that knows anything about this guy is, as far as indoor coaching and as far as the relationship up in that area, this guy is someone who's known, someone that has creds. I mean, forget the thing around your neck that gets you into a building. This guy might have even written how creds are as far as being a head coach in the indoor game. Some of the rumors that are swirling around is that he might be able to join the Shock, or can you confirm or deny, or I don't have a clue, Sonny Clark, as far as Adam Shackelford's availability to maybe joining the Shock?
With all sincerity, I have no clue.
Okay.
I have not heard anything like that. Billy hasn't brought anything like that up. No, we actually in Spokane, they actually call him the mayor because he's just that well known there.
That's what he is.
But no, I haven't heard that he's going to be part of the Shock. I mean, if he's part of it on the front office side, I couldn't tell you. I haven't even been involved with the front office side or even met the guys yet because I haven't gone up there yet. So I don't know. But on the coaching staff or the operation, I haven't heard anything like that.
Got it. It's just always the thing because I love me some Adam Shackelford, and him and I don't agree on a lot either. But unlike in a Trump debate, he still kind of likes me. At least I hope, anyway. But that being said, the change. The change. You're going to NAL to IFL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so about the IFL. We're experienced with it. I mean, with the Texas Revolution when they first started, they went into and back into the dates of the Allen Wranglers days, where Terrell Owens was there for the year. That was the first year you and I were involved with the team as far as that was concerned. And the difference. Explain to people a little bit about the difference, because when I tried to explain it, I'm an idiot. I get it. And I can see it, but me to explain it, I have no clue. So I don't know if you can explain it any better than me, but going from arena ball to indoor football, and now with some of the subtle changes that they kind of want to put into the game to make it more interesting, I don't know if is there now a difference between arena football and indoor football, or is it just about the same?
Well, first of all, remember, I was an assistant coach over at Wichita Falls.
That's true. Yes.
And we were in the IFL. So I'm got some experience with IFL. And you're right, IFL is more indoor football, where the NAL was more arena football. Arena football is where it all started.
Right.
IFL is a little bit different. You have two receivers in motion, unlike one in the NAL. And the running game is a lot more different in the IFL, as you're going to see a lot more running than you would in the IFL, in the NAL. So those are the biggest difference. But for the fan, a lot of it's the same. You have to know the sports to know what the differences. You have a difference. There's differences with your linebackers. Your legal defenses from your linebackers, where your Jack and your Mac have to stay. A little bit different in that sense, but
those are linebackers. Jack and Mac are linebackers, just to let everybody know.
Yeah, and so those are where you're going to see the differences. But you're going to see in IFL, you see a lot more running than you do in the IFL or NAL. NAL is more of a drop back throw. In the IFL, you will see running backs that are shaped and sized like running backs. In the NAL, it's more of a glorified offensive lineman that you might run 2 or 3 times a game, but for the most part, it's a passing game.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see where this goes. As far as the AFL, obviously the bankruptcy is a big story as far as indoor football / arena fans that are around the country and how that'll affect it. You're losing some teams. You're also seeing some of the jumping from the AFL into the IFL. That started with the Arizona Rattlers. Then they're bringing different teams that are headed that way. And we just don't know what the future holds. So you're right, Bill. It's really early in the process. And in this game, we can't really, see something that happens to really know what kind of effect it's going to have. We have to wait until the 2020 season to figure out what and how that effect of the bankruptcy and them going out of business will affect the other leagues as well. Also, player availability is going to be a big issue because players are under contract for not just 1 year, sometimes 2 years within the AFL. So I don't even know where those contracts are. I know filing for bankruptcy protects them, but I don't know as far as the contracts are concerned, how does that affect them as far as their pay and their availability? Do you know?
I don't. And when it comes to a player union, you're in a whole different ballgame because obviously they have control of a lot of that stuff. So that's still too early to tell. But the schedules are coming out for these leagues. Yep. So the CIF, is their schedule out yet?
Yeah, we have planted 7 teams. We had the opportunity, just to be honest, guys, we had the opportunity to bring in 10, but the way that Champions Indoor Football wants to work, we want solid football team with solid ownerships instead of just putting a team in a city. I mean, there was opportunities for Champions Indoor Football to do that. We decided not to do that. We want solid ownership. We want to make sure that as Champions Indoor Football grows, we have the ownership and the camaraderie between the owners to move forward in a positive light instead of, oh, we can have a team here, let's bring them on, and we don't do anything to check the backgrounds or anything. We just want a team. We're not going to do that in Champions Indoor Football. We've already had the situation with 2 teams dropping out, and definitely learning our lesson as far as vetting is concerned and bringing in, and instead of taking certain people's word about somebody, actually diving into it and making sure. We could have been up, Bill, we could have been up to 10 teams, but what we saw for league as far as what was best for the league and best for the other 7 teams that are playing, it's best to go smaller and then slowly grow into it and make sure that we have proper vetting and proper owners and guys and people that are dedicated to doing it instead of a fly-by-night situation that when you see some of the indoor football leagues, such as remember back in the AAF days, back in the AAL days, where they just had a team in this city and then you didn't see the games. It was really kind of pathetic in reality, but the Champions Indoor Football is not falling into that. We're not falling into that more is better. What is better is less. Less is better, and then when we move forward, we're going to be in a situation where we can.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that because the IFL did that a few years ago. IFL
they were at 26 teams at one point, weren't they, Bill?
Well, no, I'm in the IFL about 4 years ago, or no, not even 4 years, 3 years ago. We're down to about 6 teams themselves. Now look at that.
4, actually 4. You're right, Bill. Weren't they at 4?
No, they never had to 4.
It was 6 then. Okay.
Yeah, but what they did was they were in no rush either. They know, look, if we can bring in 2 or 3 teams a season, and we can start establishing ourselves. And look at now, it's 13 teams, 13 strong teams. I mean, shoot. Up until 10 days ago, we were still at 12 teams, and all of a sudden Frisco pops up, which, with us with the Revolution, we know that's a good market there. So now we have 13 teams, schedules out. So the only schedule that hasn't come out yet is the NAL. So I think with any changes with teams, with the fallout of the AFL, I don't think it's going to affect any teams. Any more teams for the season. I think one thing now is the big question is going to be the players. What's going to happen with those guys? But there's also a lot of rumors swirling around about new teams. That were getting ready to go in the AFL. AFL was talking about bringing the Cleveland Gladiators back. Yep. There's some talk about Nashville, Louisville. So this these could be segues coming, for the 2021 season. But I think for the 2020 season, I think it's in all three leagues. It's going to be exciting. There's no 4-team leagues. I mean, the AFL was the one that was struggling out of all of them because it ran 4 teams for a couple of years. You had to play a 2-game championship. Just to get as much out of it as you can. So I think these other leagues, I think they're going in the right direction. And as of right now, at the NAL and the IFL are once players come out of the AFL, that's I think where you might see the changes.
Yeah, as far as players and the things of that sort, that's going to be really huge to look out for.
But then also the XFL. You got to wait and see what's going to happen with that. They've had a draft. They've had a draft.
Huge too, right here in Dallas. They got the Renegades that are going to be going on, and when I was looking at the league, I was just thinking to myself, if they just kept that on a East Coast base and all those stadiums over there, how much that league in itself would save in travel. But the idea of what they were trying to do wasn't Sonny's idea. Thinking, wow, you got to look out for travel. It's the biggest expense on some of these teams is travel, getting players to here and going by a plane compared to bus and things of that sort, a completely different situation, and obviously a different level as far as input, as far as funds and money to support that kind of thing. And so it's always going to be huge. But of course, Vince McMahon is a billionaire, so maybe he can get that part figured out to where it doesn't go very much. I mean, I think he has some, his own flights, his own planes as well. So I don't know if that part's helping out.
I think with the XFL, I think they're doing it right this time. They're not going out and trying to compete with the NFL. They're not trying to take their players like they did. And what they're doing is they are being reasonable with these players, because for XFL, I think a lot of these players, their ultimate goal is to get to the NFL.
Yep.
And so I think, the AAF, that was the goal with them. Is to be a feeder to the NFL, and it just didn't work. They just got too buried with it. I think with the XFL, I think they're doing it right. They waited a year from being announced, and I think they're doing the right marketing. I think it's going to be a huge plus.
Yeah, a huge plus in moving forward is going to be the big question on how that part will work. What will be the setup for the future of indoor football? This is a very vital year from all three of the leagues, and even the players within the AFL, and how and what ends up happening because of the bankruptcy of the AFL, and how that will move forward and affect the other teams, whether it be or the other leagues, whether it be the CIF, IFL, NAL, or if we even get another league to go ahead and start up. There's some smaller leagues thinking about moving up. There's a league down in Florida that is thinking about trying to move up and trying to, I guess, for lack of a better term, play with the big boys. The big boys on the minor league area. And that's one of the things. It's one of the reasons why I love indoor football. One of the reasons why I love indoor football, it's minor league sports. I love minor league sports. And that's what because you see the drive and determination and passion of players that want to make it that way. So you're going to get a great performance out of them all the time. So that's one, and they could be up 20 points and they would be out there and, putting that out on the line every single play. It's one of the reasons why I love indoor football.
Well, there's a lot of cities that were so successful with arena football.
Absolutely.
They're going to line up somewhere. The Philadelphia Soul will be back.
Yep.
Albany will be back. You got teams that are out there that have been gone for a little while that don't be surprised if they pop back up. Yep. You got the San Jose Sharks San Jose SaberCats that were one of the staples of the AFL.
Yes.
These leagues now are a little bit more, what can you say?
Budget conscious.
Budget. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. So I think it kind of holds up a little bit better for bring back some of these teams. I mean, look what Spokane did. Yep. The Rattlers went from the AFL to the IFL. Iowa did it. Jacksonville did it. So some of these teams did it and they survived, and now they're doing real well. So would not be surprised to see some more of that happen.
The investment, is it worth the time? And you got the marketing. If you got things that are, you have the dedication of bringing forth your team to be better in their city, and that takes dedication from everybody involved. Oh, I just gave you a happy holiday beard there, so there we go. but Bill, I'd like to thank you for taking the time. I mean, thanks for the good 30 minutes, because this is a big story. It affects everything as far as the indoor leagues, and also affects teams, players going to the Canadian Football League as well. So with the AFL kind of gone, that means more eyes on the Canadian League will be on the NAL, will be on the IFL, will be on the CIF, and then things like that. So it should be a very interesting as far as the direction that some of these players will end up taking to maybe eventually make it to the NFL or the CFL. And also, don't forget about overseas. Overseas is actually really big for American football on the smaller level. Now, we don't get a lot of updates about it, but we see guys flying over there to go there to participate in it. And one of these days when I do have some time, I'm going to investigate and see how all that goes as far as the other countries are concerned. So it should be interesting there. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the future looks bright. I mean, even though this hiccup happened with the AFL, I think it still looks bright because if you've experienced indoor football, you fall in love with it real quick.
Yep.
So I think right now they're in. I think strategically they're in the right areas. I think they're in the right cities, and it's working. So. I think right now things are in the right direction. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some of these leagues in the future start combining again. And then pretty much you're going to have the AFL again, but without the name.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. I think that's where it will end up in reality. So he is the MVP of our broadcast of the Rowlett Eagles varsity football team. And obviously our relationship as far as indoor football and what's going on, obviously this is up on the top of our heads on what's going on as far as that's concerned. I couldn't have thought of anybody better to bring on to talk about the situation as we keep it, football on Sunday, football Sunday. It's the Come to Jesus Day as we are set. And Bill, I'd like to thank you for your time and joining us. And especially since you're on your vacation, pulling away from your family, say hi to your family and make sure, check in with Yolanda with me, give her a hello for me. And we'll go from there. Is she there?
Yeah.
Yo, Yolanda. Yeah, so
she's waiting high.
Yeah, good. All right. So check in with her and enjoy the rest of your time. Be safe out there, especially with the snow on the ground, my friend.
Oh, I'm back down in the valley now, so I fly out tonight. So I went from 17 degrees and now we're about 65.
Oh, there you go. So enjoy Sky Harbor. Enjoy your flight. Be safe on the way home. We'll see you when you get there. We'll connect as we always do. Absolutely. He is the Eagle Eye Bill Cerna, as he joins us all the time, on Rowlett Eagles varsity football, as well as hopefully we'll be getting him in maybe in some football. Maybe since now it's so easy, he'll do it. So he is the Eagle Eye Bill Cerna. So thanks for your time, my friend. And yep, and I cut him. I'm sorry, my friend. I cut him a little early there. But the Eagle Eye Bill Cerna, always good to see him. Always good to talk to him. We are here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, and now that I think about it, I probably should have had my speaker on, so hopefully some of that was heard over on the Blog Talk side. Some of the kinks that we're still working out as far as bringing guests on and having speakers available, we'll eventually figure that out. I already have the fine co-host of the show is going to be coming, so I will have that part set up so you can hear from Cuervo. I think it came out. We'll find out. But thanks for him for joining us here on the Couch Potato Sports Show as we are set. It's week number 13 of the NFL. It's just what we do best, talking football here each and every week on the Couch Potato Sports Show as we get scheduled up and talking about the games that are going to be coming. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take that quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, and we'll hear from our sponsors on both sides as we, Sonny is now the director and producer and everything else. So we'll do that. We'll go into commercials. We'll be back in about 5 minutes here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And that being said, don't you go anywhere.
Go custom. Get happy. Tell us what you love. We're your local neighborhood window covering experts who truly understand your needs. Our highly customized process is specifically designed to get to...
At Wesson General Contracting Incorporated, we're your one-stop shop for all your general contracting needs. So roofing, gutters, sidings, fence staining, painting, foundation problems, or roof damage are no problems at all. Give us a call at 214-200-5588. That's 214-200-5588. Wesson General Contractors, proud sponsor of the Rowlett Eagles radio broadcast.
In Berlin.
Are you looking for a new home? Want to know what your house could sell for in today's market? Then you need to contact Realtor Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Rockwall. Whether you're buying, selling, leasing, or investing, he can help you get where you need to be. That's 214-236-2914. Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group, Keller Williams Rockwall.
And skin tightening, as well as thermal lift and cosmetics and...
At the Jerry Bullitt Training Center, we truly believe experience is the best teacher. With over 50 combined years of knowledge and experience in sports performance and athletic training, our coaches understand exactly what it takes to achieve your goal. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their brand new facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costco Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance to save a ton. Costco Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostcoInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on.
Yeah, but is it fresh?
RowlettFood.com. Do you want to have dinner delivered but you don't want to use Uber Eats? Contact someone locally that can do the same thing at a better price and faster. All you have to do is pick a restaurant on the list at the website, tell us what you'd like to order, then check out. Check out RowlettFoods.com. Give us a call at 972-408-8002 or check us out on the web at RowlettFood.com. Go custom. Get happy. Tell us what you love. We're your local neighborhood window covering experts who truly understand your needs, so we deliver the perfect solution for your home. So check out Budget Blinds of Rowlett, serving Rowlett, Wiley, Saxe, and Garland. Give them a call at 972-722-9300. Budget Blinds of Rowlett, where we listen to our customers' needs. Ever want to know why Bill and I look so good on our broadcast? Check out K West Designs on Facebook. You can take a look at our pictures and see the quality of the work that comes from K West Designs, especially if you have a special occasion. Just get on Facebook, look up K West Designs right in the search bar, contact them directly for questions or anything that you may have regarding your personal design. Liberty Air and Heat. Everybody knows what the Texas Heat can do to your air conditioning and heating systems. That's why you need the experts that deliver the best and most honest service in the Rowlett area. We provide the high-quality air conditioning and heating services that keep you more comfortable when you need it. So contact Liberty Air and Heat at 469-678-9444 or visit them on the web at libertyairandheat.com.
At Nest Egg Wealth Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement failed to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. It's simply not a benefit that you start receiving at age 62. If you would like a complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, please give our office a call today at 972-412-6064 or visit us on the web at nesteggadvice.com.
Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show, your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk. Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna, and the best co-host anyone could ask for, Cuervo. We cover it all. NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports. Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
All right, we are back here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio. And welcome to That Being Said. Our Sunday morning tradition continues on. It's week number 13 of the NFL. And folks, we're going to get started. And the reason being, Cuervo is fashionably late. He's out there putting his face on. It does take time. He's got to pull down the scalpels and everything else to get it off his face. Actually, he is out on assignment with the military, and he'll be running a little bit late. He'll be joining us in the second hour of the Couch Potato Sports Show as far as what we are going to do and get set and ready to go. So excited about that. I'd like to thank Bill Cerna again for taking time off and joining us, as he always will do for me if I ask him, and I really appreciate that time. And you get an idea. Now, granted, I know it wasn't the NFL, but it was a very important thing and a very important subject to talk about as we move forward, as far as where the AFL is and what's going on and how does that affect other players who are trying to get to the NFL. In reality, it was a good amount of time to speak about it and where everybody will be. So now, that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. What we're going to do is we're going to get into it. We need to talk some NFL and get us all set and ready to go. So that being said, let's just jump into our first game that's here on the Couch Potato Sports Show as we cover them all. The Cleveland Browns, who are 5-6 out on the season, they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 6-5 right now, and this is always that AFC North battle that you get between them. Never mind a couple of weeks ago, the battle that was done on the final play of regulation. I've spoken my thought about Myles Garrett and how that whole thing unfolded and why it unfolded and what the situation was. And you can't tell me any differently that if Myles Garrett played just a regular play, that game would have been in the locker room and we would be talking about how bad the Pittsburgh Steelers played in that game. So that having been said, that is the situation as far as this game is concerned. And I'm actually excited about this game, not because of that it's the return of what's going on. It is because it's an AFC North battle. Those games are always, you just go back. It reminds me of 90s football where guys just are in the dirt. They're just, grinding it out instead of the Showtime football that we always seem to get in the NFL today. So that being said, when I was looking at this game and trying to get it all squared away, figuring out what could end up happening, the Pittsburgh Steelers, their situation at quarterback is not all that great, as this is a football team that will be taking a look at a new quarterback, and they call him the Duck. It's Devin Hodges. He's going to make his second career start for the Pittsburgh Steelers in that game. So when you look at that whole situation, you got the rookie quarterback. You're not going to have Pouncey, who was suspended for that game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the guy right in the middle. I call him the quarterback of the offensive line, the quarterback in reality that's checking and doing all the plays. You don't have that guy in your football field now. And that he is kind of like one of these backstops as far as what you're going to get on each offensive play as he gives everybody's assignments when he's at the ball. And you're not going to get that this week without having Pouncey in the lineup. So that's one of the reasons why you take a look at this game as forget the fact that you have two quarterbacks when Ben Roethlisberger and Pouncey are out on the field at the same time. Now you've got a rookie at the quarterback position and quite possibly a young man, and I'm not sure who's filling in for him right there, but that's going to be a huge issue as far as where Pittsburgh is and what they're going to do. So and when I look at this game, I automatically think, hey, Steelers, no problem. This should be easy. But with the fact that they got a rookie quarterback starting his second one, it makes things a little difficult. Also, when you take a look at the other side and you look at the Cleveland Browns have got to figure out a way to get the ball to the superstar. Now, Bill and I, over for the Rowlett Eagles varsity football team and everything else, will talk about the fact that you have to have your guys. You have to be able to do what has got to be done, okay? And if you don't have your guys out on the football field, that's a problem. But when you got your guys on the football field and they are not doing what they got to do, that's one of the problems as well. So, when I look at this game and I ask myself, why are they not getting the ball to Odell Beckham Jr.? That is just a huge oversight as far as the Browns are concerned. You got to get this guy involved. Now, slowly but surely, they're beginning to do that again. And I will tell you that if they don't start doing it, it's going to be huge for them. And they got other weapons, don't get me wrong, but you do have to get the ball to the guys that are going to end up, making the plays for you. And if you don't have the guys making the play for you, that is going to be really huge for you. And again, the Steelers, without their center, their captain in reality, it's going to be huge for the Cleveland Browns defensive line. Maybe there is a break in the system to get them into the backfield and maybe put some pressure on a rookie quarterback that's going to be there. But and then when you do switch it and go back to the Cleveland Browns, we're talking about Odell Beckham. Okay. They ended the 8-game scoring drought by getting a 35-yard touchdown pass right now for Odell. So they're slowly getting him back in the lineup. And this could be a game where Odell Beckham is definitely going to be needed in order to get the victory. As Cleveland is still trying to figure out if they're going to be a good football team or not. Forget about the playoffs here, guys, because I don't think that's even really an issue right here. As far as them making the playoffs, you don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, it shouldn't be any great big surprise to anybody. So that is the big story here. Now, moving on to this game, there's some other situations as far as that brawl. You don't have Pouncey. All right, Pittsburgh, BJ Finley played well in his absence, but at the same time, you got to take a look at the football team as far as the Browns are concerned. They're still getting to the quarterback. And since the fact they got Finley in there, that could be a long day in the backfield for it. And I battled this one as far as my pick was concerned on who I was going to take and why I was going to take them. And I think the fact this really doesn't have to do with the fact that it's a rookie quarterback. I think the loss of Pouncey is going to be a big part of this game. And I think that's the reason why I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to Cleveland Browns in this game as far as my pick are concerned. So when I look at the other pick, my brother, speaking of my brother, hey, I know. Fans, I should have warned you before I did that and brought this thing in here. And if I want to even make it more scary, let's just bring him up close. There he is. It's my brother. It's my brother. Take a look at this game. I don't know how much in depth that you get into it like I do. I'll dive into certain aspects of a game and make a decision on who I'm going to win, who's going to win based upon what I think. My brother, what's your thinking about this game?
Well, I'm just hoping that they don't broadcast it in red.
Yeah, WWE. Thank you.
Oh yeah. No, it's.
I got the joke. It's pretty.
Well, I figured a good fight deserves another one, right?
Right, is right. There you go.
How many players are going to be suspended in this game?
That's going to be a good point too. That, believe it or not, that is a huge point as far as what's going to happen in this game.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be a tad bit of animosity here.
You think maybe just a little?
Just a little bit. In fact, I'm sure when you watch it on Red Zone, you'll get those close-ups and they'll all be going,
I'm chewing.
Yeah, what they're going, I'm going to chew your soul out.
So what was your theory in thinking and picking this game? Did you have anything in mind, or was there something?
My number one reason, to be honest, anybody that beats the Browns is okay in my book.
Got it. So this is more of a they lose kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
who they are.
99% of my picks are based on my emotion. I don't know anything about the stats, who the players are necessarily. You drag them in and analyze them, and I'm going, he carried the ball for 13 yards last week. That's about all I know.
We'll just go with that.
But I'm a fan. I'm not a statistician, and I'm not a person that's going to go, I want to know every name on the team. It's impossible for me.
Well, that's too many players, and it's kind of like that's why I can't keep track of baseball. But obviously, I dive into what I do as far as the NFL is concerned.
When you follow baseball, you got a lot of lag time there.
Got a lot.
So you can learn a lot between first and third innings.
Yes,
because
how it goes.
To me, it's like watching golf on TV. I'd rather watch hamsters
running their wheel, right?
I'd just rather watch hamsters poop.
There you go. and the brilliance analogy that you get from my brother here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And so glad to join you. I'll be bringing you back in as we'll talk more, as I'll dive more into the things. And Cuervo, when he gets back, I'll bring you in just for the entertainment factor of what you're all about.
All right, let me ask you this. Now, when you're watching this game today, what are you going to be looking for? Are you going to be looking for revenge, or are you going to be going, not this game? It ain't going to happen the same way. It's going to be more of a battle more than a grudge.
Well, I think it's going to go back to what it was. I mean, the situation happened with Garrett and Rudolph. Okay, believe it or not, that just seemed like it was forever. Now, when it comes to football players and what they do, and then he's being called away, so we'll go. When you talk about that and you talk about certain players, you talk about where they are, I think they're over it, is what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but this happened such a long time ago. I don't know how much it'll have an effect in this game. So you got to take a look for a lot of those things out there. So, people are talking about who's better. Is it Rudolph? Is it the Duck? Who, as far as the quarterback position, I don't think it really matters as far as this game is concerned, at least for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is going to have to do it without their center. And I'm telling you right now, without having Pouncey in the lineup, that makes a big difference as far as where they could end up going, as far as this game is concerned. Well, I think we're going to see Cleveland getting in the backfield. That means putting on the pressure on the Duck, which that's his nickname, by the way. It's Hodges. Or if it's Rudolph. But my understanding, it is going to be Hodges starting. So you get the fact that you got another rookie quarterback starting in his first game. So lots of things I'm looking at in this one as far as how it will go. But I think they're over what happened a few weeks back. Yeah. And it hit the media and they loved it for a week and a half. And hell, I even jumped in on it for a while after I said I wasn't going to, but I did it anyway. So it's one of those things.
Well, it's just like anything else. The same subject over and over and over again. It's fun for an hour or two, but I got bigger things to do.
Yeah, I think you might.
Speaking of which, during Thanksgiving, oh my goodness, Talk about overeat. Oh my God.
I didn't need to eat after I ate the plate that I had. I didn't eat until noon the next day. So there you go. But
well, just like Roman Reigns said on SmackDown on Friday, yeah, Thanksgiving's not over until the leftovers are gone.
That's true. That is true. And I don't know how much of that I'm going to get. So I'll bring you back in when we talk a little bit more. I'm going to jump back in. That's my brother. That's my brother from the same mother. So he joined us here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Now, his analysis of football and analysis of things, if you're expecting that from DC Dennis Clark, don't expect it. But he is quite entertaining, which is one of the reasons why I bring him on the show whenever he feels like coming onto the show. But as far as where we are and the Couch Potato Sports Show, you're listening to the Couch Potato Sports Show normally with myself and Cuervo. And actually, yes, I don't have the one with just my name. I got everybody else. Normally, like when he'll come into the game, we're gonna have to do this because during the first hour he'll be over on Blog Talk, but not on the video. So I have him up here, and I'll be over to the side like this. So when he comes on, that's where we'll kind of move it. But until then, we'll put this one up. So let's head on into our next game that we're talking about here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Things to keep an eye out as far as this next game is concerned. The Green Bay Packers. This is a football team. It's 8-3, which I didn't expect to happen. Let's just be honest. When you went back and you go into the archives, you saw that Sonny Clark was woo-woo. Sorry about that. He was wrong about the Green Bay Packers. And I hate to admit that because any true Bear fan just hates, and not just by a little, I'm talking about a lot. They hate the Green Bay Packers. So maybe I had a little bit of Bear influence when I picked them to finish dead last in the NFC North. Yeah, right. Thanks a lot, Sonny. But the simple fact of the matter is that was not a great prediction. Completely wrong as far as that was concerned. And it was quite ugly. Yeah, thank you very much. But get that guy out of the studio. That having been said, this one, as I looked at it, it was the Giants. They're 2-9, for God's sake. Why am I even going to waste my time even watching this game as it is? That's why you have Red Zone. They'll only take it to that game as if someone's going to score. So there you go. So you don't have to put yourself through the cringing plays of watching the Giants play because, guys, let's just be honest. The Giants are not a good football team. They are 2-9 for a reason, whether that's coaching, whether that is a rookie quarterback trying to start his career and try to move forward. You're going to have to look at all aspects of what the Giants are and just throw the season away. I mean, they started off wrong in reality. When the Giants brought back Eli Manning after last year, that right there told you that their mindset is completely off in left field. You don't bring a guy that has been stinking up the joints, not just last year, not just the year before that, or the year before that. We can go back almost 5 years and realize that Eli Manning is not the Eli Manning that luckily won the Super Bowl if it wasn't for a helmet catch. Okay, so if you wanted to call him good during that time, you can go ahead and do so. If you want to call him a great player because he's got all these yards that he threw for, congratulations. If you want to call him good because of his last name, you can go ahead and do that. But the simple fact of the matter is when they started the season out with Eli Manning, I knew where the season was going to go. They didn't do anything in the offseason to grab anybody to be competitive, whether it be at the quarterback position or anywhere else. So that's one of the problems when you looked at the Green Bay or the Giants going into this game against the Packers. So you look at all this, I kind of have an idea. You look at Pat Shurmur, okay? He is the second season as running this Giants organization out on the football field. Guys, Pat Shurmur is a coach that was back in the 80s and 90s. That mentality of and when you got a total different makeup of NFL players, a guy like Matt LaFleur who can relate to the young players and know what's going on. That is what you get. You get a guy that has been somewhat successful with Aaron Rodgers. Now, I don't necessarily know how much Aaron Rodgers is going to listen to an indoor football quarterback who had no head coaching experience at all walking into Green Bay. I'm going to tell you right now, Aaron Rodgers does not need a quarterback coach. He doesn't need an offensive coordinator. He could probably run the damn thing all by himself, this is a great opportunity to see how great of a coach that he is, on-field coach that he is. If I was Matt LaFleur, I'd say just take it. They're 2-9. We should wipe these guys out. And good, bad, or indifferent, that's just the way it ended up as far as this game is concerned. Now, you look at LaFleur and the Packers, they're 8-3. They're tied for first place in the NFC North, along with Minnesota. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not just a game that they can just, mosey through. They got to beat this team. They are on the road, and that's another thing. And the Green Bay Packers, when they're known to lose a game, sometimes they just lose it in an ugly fashion. And now, I'm not saying that's going to happen here in Green Bay or in New York over at MetLife Stadium, but it is something that you have to keep track of in this game. Will they show up to play? Because Green Bay can ill afford to really lose this game when you look at the NFC North and where the teams are as far as Green Bay and Minnesota. They're right there at the top. And both of these teams are going to make the playoffs. Whoever wins the division is going to be the biggest question at all. But when you look at Green Bay, the Packers right now, they get the come to Jesus, as I like to say all the time, this past Sunday night when they got spanked, shellacked, all those words. They lost 38-7 to the 49ers in San Francisco, and that is a playoff contending football team. So now they get to come back to Jesus, and they get the crap team that they should be. Sort of like the Dallas Cowboys. If they get a crap team in front of them, they're probably going to win. Quality team, as the Green Bay Packers took a look at, maybe not so much. So you have to ask yourself the question in this game, how much really, in reality, does Aaron Rodgers have to do in this game in order to win it? Maybe something, because if you take a look, you can't throw Saquon Barkley out as far as somebody, even though it's the Giants, even though they're 2-9, even though they really, really just kind of stink, okay? Saquon Barkley right now, the 2018 Offensive Rookie of the Year, he's still going to be a guy that you're going to have to look out for. But with the good, as far as the Giants are concerned, you get the bad. But if you take a look at it, for a rookie quarterback, Daniel Jones, he's thrown a touchdown in 9 straight games, and 17. He's 17. He has 17 more than all the other rookies that are out there. But does that equate into wins? And obviously it hasn't. So what's his problem? Well, the problem right there is the guy can't hold on to the football. He's lost 10 fumbles against the Bears, and that led to, and most of them led to touchdowns. You can't give the ball away in the NFL, because if you give the ball away in the NFL, there is a guy that will come back and make you pay for it. And of course, that is Aaron Rodgers and what he has done. 18 touchdown passes, only 2 interceptions. So it just makes you kind of wonder what the heck Aaron Rodgers is going to do, to that defense of the Giants. It could get a lot uglier before it gets better, and they can't afford for it to get ugly. So you got to be able to field the team for the last 4 weeks, even though that you're going to be playing the Redskins, even though you're going to be playing the Dallas Cowboys, even though you're going to be playing the Philadelphia Eagles. You still got to suit up. But you take a look at Green Bay now. Devontae Adams is back into it. He's caught 7 passes in each of his 3 games back, coming off an injury. Now, guys, when a guy is targeted and receives 7 passes, he was probably targeted for 10 of them, and probably 3 bad passes or just not making the connection. So he is a big part of what you're going to see out on the football field as far as Devontae Adams is concerned. Okay, but Aaron Jones has 15 catches, 205 yards, 3 touchdowns after Adams went down. So you got a couple of guys in the wide receiving position that you're going to have to worry about if you're the Giants defense. But here's the thing. The Packers allowed the 49ers to sack Aaron Rodgers 5 times on Sunday night. Telling you about the offensive line for this football team. But again, it's the Giants defense. If this was a football team that was getting to the quarterback, I would be all over this. The simple fact of the matter, that's not what's ending up happening. And it makes for a very, very long day for certain players that are out there. But that also being said, you got to take a look at this game, and you got to just have a realization on what you're getting. And that realization, it could be something that is really huge as far as where they're going to go in the future. Got to look out for what the Packers are going to do. And well, look at this. Let me push this button.
You didn't know?
In case you didn't know.
Your ass better call somebody.
I got to move to the left because it's Cuervo on a Sunday morning. Let me click the button. See, I'm producer, director, and everything else. It is Cuervo. Good morning, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Sonny. Driving home.
Driving home. Good. I need you to hold on 1 second because I'm not getting the volume I need out of you, but I'm going to fix that problem. Give me 2 seconds and hit this right here. Do this.
AUX mode.
And turn it up. Okay, Cuervo, how you doing, my friend? I got you a little bit louder.
I'm doing great, Sonny. Hopefully everybody can hear me.
Well, it's not you. It's for the video portion of it that I'm having a hard time getting sound on. Let me just try to.
Bluetooth mode.
Yeah, shush. Let me hit that button there. That's power not. Off. Yeah, power off. And I think I know what I can do. Give me 2 seconds, Cuervo. Don't go anywhere. I got the answer. All right, hit that. Move here, and then this won't take long, guys. I promise. All right, so. This right here, go here, hit that, and Cuervo, do I got you? All right, I'm going to here in just a second. Don't do anything. This was unfortunate because I couldn't get a test with Cuervo, but let me hit this button right here and turn that up. Wait, that won't work. Hold on. What I gotta think here. Give me 2 seconds because I gotta figure out how to get your voice up here. Hit this. You're full. Got that. Oh, I know how to do it. This right here. All right, and pull this down here. All right, Cuervo, I got you. How you doing, my friend?
I'm great, Sonny. How you doing, my friend?
That's a little bit better. Okay, that's as best as it's going to get as far as that's concerned. Hey, let's just jump back here because we're talking about the Green Bay Packers and the Giants. I don't think you're too far gone, but let's hop back to the game that we covered before you came up online. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Let me get your idea of what you think about that game as far as it's concerned.
Yeah, I don't know if Bryce had a chance to get on this morning. I know normally you like to save this game for him, but, I like the Steelers today. And the reason I like the Steelers is I just think, amidst all the drama that happened the first time, I think the Steelers got a little bit of revenge on their mind. See, but here's the thing. A lot of times teams will take out their revenge in the wrong way. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are a little bit better than that as far as the class of a franchise that they are, and they're going to take it out on the Cleveland Browns on the field at home today. And I fully expect the Steelers to win this game, even though they're starting the other quarterback over Rudolph. I can't think of the dude's name. But,
Hodges.
I still like Pittsburgh to win this game. Yeah, Duck Hodges or something.
Yep.
Like that, I think his name is. But I just like the way the Steelers have responded ever since that whole incident happened. And I like how they're playing, so I like the Steelers to win.
Yeah, I went, Mark, no Pouncey. That's going to be a big deal. The guy's filling in for Garrett. They still got 4 sacks the other day. So that's where I went on that. What? Say that again, Cuervo?
No, I was saying that is a big deal. That is a big deal. So.
Yep. So looking out for now, the game that we're on, the Green Bay Packers, the hated Green Bay Packers, and the Giants. I don't think you got a lot to say. I kind of jumped into it, and especially since the Packers allowed the 49ers to sack Aaron Rodgers 5 times on Sunday. But this is the Green Bay Packers. I don't think there's anything we need to worry about in reality, seeing how it is the New York Giants.
Yeah, Sonny. I mean, look, we keep it real on the show. As much as I want to pick the New York Giants, I don't like being wrong either. So, on the record, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to win today. Such a bad taste in my mouth. It's so bad.
Definitely right there. So, to look out, something to look out for. Huh?
The Giants stink.
Yeah, they do. I think, with me, when I'm doing the show and everything, I try to look at a lot of things, and that was, what it just boils down to is the Giants stink. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It's something to kind of look out for. So we might as well do this. We might as well just head on into the next game that we're going to be talking about, since there's really not much to talk about as far as this game is concerned. So I'll go ahead and do that. We're going to move on to the next game. You're listening to the Couch Potato Sports Show, and that being said, let's head on into the next game. The Jets, who've been playing good football as of late, will be taking on the Bengals here today, here on Sunday. And, immediately you go, gosh, these are 2 bad football teams. But that being said, Cuervo, of course, that's the name of this show. The Jets actually have been playing some good football as of late, as they right now, when you take a look at it, they are trying to win their 4th game in a row. And regardless if it's good, bad, or indifferent, you still got to win the football game. So, the Jets trying to win their 4th game in a row. I don't know. Are you impressed with the Jets trying, winning 3 in a row, looking for their 4th today?
I wouldn't say impressed, but if you're a Jets fan, I think you have to be very pleased and very happy with the direction that your team is going in, because, this could be a sign of what's to come next year. Sam Darnold seems like he's progressing as a quarterback. Obviously, you have one of the best safety valves. The only thing I would say is be aggressive in the offseason. You're the Jets. Go get you a target for Sam Darnold to throw the football to. I'm sorry. Nothing against Robbie Anderson, nothing against these other receivers that they have. But they're not exactly, as you like to say, the cat's meow. And they need to find somebody that can be the cat's meow for them.
Absolutely.
And this receiving core right now just isn't. They're not cutting. So
yeah.
That's the only thing I would say about the Jets. They're the arrow's going up. But I still think there's room for improvements. So, impressed, not exactly, but you gotta be feeling good if you're a Jets fan.
Absolutely. So, and the Bengals, they're just so bad. They're 0-11 coming into this one. So you look at that, it'd be the worst start in franchise history for the Bengals, football team that really has got its problems, whether it be first, at the quarterback position, Andy Dalton will go ahead and get the start again. So they're going to bring him back in. Let me ask Cuervo this while we're looking at it. Is that going to make any difference? Are we going to see anything different as far as that is concerned? Do you think Andy Dalton will be able to bring something back to this football team to where they'll get an opportunity to make a difference in the game?
You know, that's a great question, Sonny, and I really don't know the answer because I don't know Andy Dalton's mentality. And the reason I say that is because, look, any starting quarterback would be embarrassed to get benched by someone that's younger, more inexperienced, just kind of like Eli Manning in New York. You know, he gets benched by the rookie Daniel Jones. I can only imagine how embarrassed he is, or how pissed off he is about it. And Randy Dalton, unlike Eli Manning, he's going to get another shot at keeping his starting job again. So, do I think he's going to come out with fire? Yeah, I do. Will it make much of a difference, though? No, because it's like you've been saying this whole time, and I agree 100%. They need A.J. Green.
Yep.
Bottom line, period. They need A.J. Green in the lineup, or else they're not really doing anything. Todd Boyd, good receiver, but he's not A.J. Green, Sonny. So that's when the difference is going to come. Is if A.J. Green does make his way back into the starting lineup, back onto the field, that's when you're going to see a different thing.
Definitely. So who are you making the pick for? Who are you? It sounds like that you're not very positive about the Bengals getting the victory today.
I'm not, Sonny. I'm taking the Jets.
Oh, you sound so much better. What did you do?
I'm driving.
Oh.
I haven't done anything different.
Okay.
So, I think it's where I'm at, better receptions. But look, here's my thing. Bengals are 0-11, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it. And I know your answer.
Yeah.
Was it really the best move? You know, you look back. Was firing Marvin Lewis the best thing for the Bengals to do? I can't help but think about it.
Yeah. To think about it is one thing, but when you don't have A.J. Green in the lineup, that kind of takes you a step back. If A.J. Green was in the lineup, I might have threw one out for this one. I might have.
Right.
But with the fact that A.J. Green is not in the lineup, I can't see how we can go ahead and move with it because there's not an offensive juggernaut on this football team that you got to worry about. And I don't think now, is there an opportunity the Jets can go in there and think, well, we got an easy win? I don't think so because I don't think the Jets think that way. They're not a great football team in the first place, Cuervo. So you got that to worry about as far as the Jets are concerned.
Yes, very true. Yeah, neither one of these teams are good, Sonny. It's just, you know, the Jets are doing some things right, and, you know, their schedule kind of plays in their favor, too. So that's why they've been able to grab a couple of wins the past few weeks. You know, they'll probably win today, but once they get back into a more challenging part of their schedule, I think they play New England one more time before the season's over. You know, I mean, unless it's week 17 and the Patriots are benching everyone, I don't see them beating the Patriots. So, you know, I'm not saying the Jets are a contender, but, you know, just like how I was talking about the Atlanta Falcons last week, I just think they're doing some things right and it's working and they're able to win football games.
So we're both going to go ahead and we are going to go with the Jets. That's going to take us into our next game. And I'm going to tell you, it's all important. So I'll say that, number one. The next game that's up on tap here on the Couch Potato Sports Show, the Philadelphia Eagles. They are 5-6. They're sitting second in the NFC East. And that when I made that banner, they are still there, but they take on a Miami Dolphins football team that's 2-9, sort of like the Giants. But I think the difference between the Giants and the Lions, even though they're 2-9, I think are the Giants and the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are definitely a better football team because they got guys that are really, in reality, if you think about it, they are applying for jobs for next year. Not a lot of those guys on the Miami Dolphins are going to be with this football team next year, so they're definitely applying for jobs, and that's always a big thing when you think about what's going on. But I'll tell you, Cuervo, looking at this game, it is so vital for the Philadelphia Eagles not to drop the ball because they will get into a tie with the Dallas Cowboys. And talking about the rest of the schedule for the Eagles being a cakewalk, a win here is one of those games that are part of the cakewalk before they end up getting to the Dallas Cowboys. They got 2 games before they will get to the Dallas Cowboys after this. And your expectations for the Philadelphia Eagles going into this game is that they need to win this to get tied. And then by the time they get to the Dallas Cowboys, depending on what the Cowboys do, they got Chicago next week. And then they got, if I'm not mistaken, either the Giants or Washington, either one. It could be a pretty vital game if the Philadelphia Eagles don't get this week win as well as the next 2. I have Philadelphia actually finishing out the rest of the season undefeated. So looking at this game, Cuervo, what's coming to your mind when you're looking at it?
Well, first things first, Sonny, I don't see the Eagles dropping the ball today. I fully expect them to win. I will tell you this. If somehow, some way, the Dolphins upset the Philadelphia Eagles, that same fork that you use to stick it in not just my back, but in the Chicago Bears back, you can use that same fork to the Philadelphia Eagles as well.
Interestingly enough, and there's just some things that I was looking at as far as this game was concerned, Cuervo. So let's just take a look at the Eagles lost the past 2 weeks to the Patriots and to the Seahawks. Those are 2 teams that are very big time contenders, not pretenders, but contenders for the postseason. So that was something I was looking at. They're lucky to get this game in reality as far as that is concerned. So that is huge for them coming into this one. Also, the Eagles, with that soft December, talk about the 2 games that. Oh, and I just lost Cuervo, so I'm not sure if we'll get him back or if he's moving into the house. Looking at that game, the Eagles have a soft December. The rest of the games, in reality, for the Eagles, they got a really nice soft schedule going into this one, so that's always something to look at as far as that is concerned. Also, let me move back into the center part here. So hopefully we'll get there's Cuervo. He's back here, so I got to go back. So the soft December schedule that is there. I'll put his picture back up in a couple minutes. The Eagles have 2 games left. The Giants and Washington. Both of those teams are 2-9. So they don't. You want to talk about a nice little cushion? That's exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles got going, especially since they have the Miami Dolphins this week. So looking at the whole thing, that is huge for them as they move forward into this game as far as the Eagles are concerned. More information, Deshaun Jackson's out for the season. Alshon Jeffries and Nelson Aguilar could return this week. They may decide to keep them out. I think that will all depend on what's happening out on the football field. They can't afford to lose a Nelson Aguilar and at the same time, Deshaun Jeffrey Cuervo, I think, is a huge situation for them as well. They can't afford Deshaun Jackson to be out, especially if they end up making the playoffs. They need them for the playoffs, don't you think?
Yeah, they definitely do, Sonny. And then, they're not going to get Deshaun Jackson back. And I thought he was going to be the biggest difference maker just because of how much of a threat he is. is, how much attention that he gets especially when he's running deep routes, and so it makes a huge difference. But get right now, honestly, Sonny, any help, even if it's one of those guys, even if they get just Alshon back or just Nelson Aguilar, it's better than having none of those guys. You know what I mean? So whatever help that he can get at the wide receiver core obviously will help. I mean, today's the exception. I don't see them desperately needing those guys, but it's just all about those guys getting healthy for the later part of the schedule and making that push for the playoffs. So they might not rush them in today, but starting next week they might want to get some a little more attention to getting those guys back. So, but what I was saying before it cut off on me was that as far as the Eagles, if they find a way to lose this game today, Sonny, that same work that you used to staff myself and the whole Chicago Bears organization in the back, you can use that same work to stick in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, that's what.
We forgot, Sonny. You are on our radar, my friend. You are on the radar.
That it has to be that way. So, anyway, let me ask you a question, Cuervo. Where are you right now, and how soon will we get you on video? Do you know yet?
So I'm about, I'd say, 10 to 15 minutes, depending on traffic, away from home, and then I'll immediately jump on to my laptop and get the stream going.
All right, very good. So that's something to keep track of. Hold on, and let me hit this. Wait, let's go. Why didn't that work? Okay, hit that button. All right, so in that case, since you are still here, we're going to go on and hit into the next game. We'll do this one, then we'll go to break, and then by that time, you'll probably be all set for the video portion of what's happening here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Let's head into the next game. And... well, the 49ers 10-1, the Ravens 9-2. This right here, Cuervo, is the marquee game of the week. As what you'll be looking at, as far as I was looking at the list and the schedule for the games, and this one right here really just kind of takes it over. There's a couple of interesting games. There's Sunday Night Football is really good, but there's only really one other game that I think, if you want to call, and I don't know if you can even call the other game I'm thinking of as marquee. This right here might be the marquee of the day games. The 49ers being 10-1 and really just having a good week last week, and the Ravens 9-2. Everybody's talking about them being the best team in the NFL. I don't know if I'm falling for that. I might have fallen for the fact that I might have been I might have been wrong about the one Lamar Jackson. I don't know if I'm wrong or not. But that being said, Cuervo, when you're looking at this game and the impact of this game and what's going on in this game is going to be huge on the as far as this game is concerned. So when you're looking at it, what are you going to look at in this game?
Well, first things first, Sonny, I'm hoping that this game lives up to the hype. Because a lot of times we get games like this and they wind up being duds. And for Ravens fans, for 49ers fans, for NFL fans, I really am hoping that this game is going to be worth watching. If it's actually, you know what? I'm so interested in this game, Sonny, that I might not even watch Red Zone. I might just watch this game on the regular broadcast, and during commercials, I'll switch over to Red Zone. Like, that's how interested I am in this game.
What are you, a traitor?
Absolutely not. But look, don't tell Scott Hansen, all right?
Yeah, no kidding.
I must keep my loyalty policies of NFL Red.
You might have. You're a traitor.
Oh, come on, Sonny.
Ah.
Great. I'm not going to be co-host anymore. This is just made my day. But, no, I mean, no, honestly, though, I mean, I think I'm going to flip back and forth because I really want to. Because, look, think about it. And people are already calling it possible Super Bowl preview. And look, if we're going to get this game again in February, I might as well take a deep dive into, how this game plays out. And I don't know if Red Zone's going to give us enough to really analyze what you see in this game. So that's why I want to focus, if it's on TV, a little more on this one. Because like you said, none of the other games are really grabbing your attention unless you're, Steeler Browns fan or AFC North, or like you said, tonight's game with the Texans and the Patriots. But anyhow, I look at this one and yeah, I think what really stands out in this game for me are the defenses. San Francisco's playing lights out. Baltimore is a lot better than I expected on defense, just because of all the losses that they had. Losing C.J. Mosley at linebacker, losing Eric Weddle at safety. They trade away. Who was it that they traded? They traded someone else away too, and I can't think of who it was. But just all those changes that they had on defense. I honestly didn't expect much from Baltimore this year, and like you said, they've proven us.
Yeah, you're having a hard time.
I'm having a really hard time. I need some coffee, but
that might be it.
No, in all seriousness, I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, like Lamar Jackson is the story of the year.
Absolutely.
I don't care what anybody says. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way to try and convince me anything else. Lamar Jackson has stolen the storyline this year so far. Am I saying he's a lock for the MVP? Absolutely not, because anything can happen. The Ravens could wind up losing every game in December, to include today.
Yep. He could get hurt.
I'm talking about Lamar Jackson anymore for MVP. So, yeah, or he could get hurt. I mean, anything can happen. So I'm not going to book it that he's the MVP. But boy, if the season ended today, Sonny, and I had to vote, how could you not vote for this guy?
I know. I think I would. I know. I think I would, Cuervo, because that's been one that's been tough to swallow for me. But I'll admit that I've been wrong. But Ravens right now, the league's top ranked rushing attack and averaging 35 points a game. You think of it, you got to figure out how you're going to score more than that if you're a team that's playing them. The 49ers, though, they have the top-ranked defense and the rematch, really, in reality, of Super Bowl 47 and a potential Super Bowl preview. Everybody's talking about. I don't know. Maybe they'll need each other in reality more quicker. I don't know, but. By the way, just to let everybody know, just an injury update: the Ravens have placed their kicker, Matt Skura, on injured reserve this week. So that is something to keep in mind for the Ravens. Deshaun Jackson leads the NFL with a 7.1 yard per carry. Cuervo, 7.1 yard. Now, if he doesn't even get his average all the time, all they can do is run the ball and get the first down all day long. That's one of the things when I look at that stat, which really makes me kind of mad about him, because that stat shouldn't be coming from a quarterback, but it is. So that being said, of course, that should be interesting. Man, you just hopefully you're just in a better spot. But this one is a tough one to pick, Cuervo. When you think about the championship, what do they always say about the championship? Defense wins championships. But it's totally different during the season. And this one here was the hardest one that I have written it down. I know what I'm going to pick, but man, just in 2 seconds in a breath that I could say that I'm going to take the 49ers in this game, I can flip back and say the Baltimore Ravens. But here's one thing that I'll say. If the 49ers win this game, and that's my pick, by the way, they're going to have to sell out to Lamar Jackson and say, well, all right, let's make sure he doesn't run on us forever, and then see if he can beat us through the air. And they're going to have a hard time with that, at least as far as what I'm looking at. So I'm going San Francisco in this one. Where are you headed on this one?
You know, Sonny, I'm going to go on the other side on this one. I'm actually going to take the Baltimore Ravens because I just think they're more of a complete team. I think they're playing a little more in sync with each other than the 49ers are. And I'm not saying that the 49ers are bad or that they, are a fluke or anything like that. I think a lot of people expected the Niners to be better just simply because Jimmy Garoppolo's health. But I just, really, to be honest with you, what it really comes down to? Nobody has been able to figure out how to stop Lamar Jackson.
That's true.
And until somebody shows it on the field, how to do it, and not even the New England Patriots could do it. So what makes you believe that the 49ers are going to be able to do it? I'm not saying the Ravens are going to blow them out. I'm just saying that, look, that Lamar Jackson is going to make enough plays. The defense is going to make just enough plays to get the victory. So that's why I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. And plus, they're at home.
Yep.
In Baltimore.
Always something to look at as far as that's concerned. That's a good point, Cuervo. So they're home. I just, I'm going to go the defense. The defense for the 49ers has really kind of been playing, for lack of a better word, lights out. Of course, they've had their problems and they've, but I think that if the 49ers are going to move forward and make themselves as a valid option, I guess you can say, a valid option in this one, they got to do it. They got to put it this way. They got to get the win against a good quality football team before I'm going to buy into them in the playoffs. So this one right here will depend upon what they're going to do moving forward and into the playoffs. So you have about 5 minutes until the camera, because I'm going to go. I think we're going to go ahead and go to a quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Is that about where you're at, my friend?
Yeah, about 5, at the very most 10.
Okay, very most 10. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take the quick break on the Couch Potato Sports Show. When we come back, we'll bring in Cuervo on the video side of this. What I will do until then, I will have Cuervo go ahead and just, keep your blog talk open. Go ahead and mute that for right now. And we'll go to the video portion of this when you go back, but we need to keep you on blog talk so we're all set and ready to go. So we're going to do that. We're going to go to a quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. You're listening to the Couch Potato Sports Show. And that being said, as we are in our 10th year, an exciting stuff for the rest of the season. Again, in case Cuervo didn't know, I'll just throw this out here. Cuervo is on, about ready to enter into his 10th year in April. He'll be on the Couch Potato Sports Show for the 10th year. We'll be on air for the 11th. So he's been joining us for a long period of time. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take that quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. When we come back, we'll jump more into the games that are set on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And that being said, we will be right back. Give me a second, guys, because I'm the director as well as producer. And we'll be back. Hold on. Yep, there we go. And all I got to do is hit this button over here. Right. Where's it at? Right there. We'll be back here on the Couch Potato Sports Show.
This is Sonny Clark Radio, voice of your outlet.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costco Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance to save a ton. Costco Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostcoInsurance.com, where we always have. the coffee pot on.
Yeah, but is it fresh?
At Nest Egg Wealth Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement failed to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. It's simply not a benefit that you start receiving at age 62. If you would like a complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, please give our office a call today at 972-412-6064 or visit us on the web at nesteggadvice.com.
Ever want to know why Bill and I look so good on our broadcast? Check out K West Designs on Facebook. You can take a look at our pictures and see the quality of the work that comes from K West Designs, especially if you have a special occasion. Just get on Facebook, look up K West Designs right in the search bar, contact them directly for questions or anything that you may have regarding your personal design. Ever want to know why Bill and I look so good on our broadcast? Landon Huey and 19 Ministries.
One of the things we want to do is Rowlett Revival. And we know that there are a lot of hurting and broken people across the city. Bring in a guest speaker, and he's just going to share the love of Christ, and we want to connect people in the city up with churches.
So make sure you contact Landon Huey at 19 Ministries at 972-835-8665 or check them out on the web at 19ministries.org or uniterowlett.org. Liberty Air and Heat. Everybody knows what the Texas Heat can do to your air conditioning and heating systems. That's why you need the experts that deliver the best and most honest service in the Rowlett area. We provide the high-quality air conditioning and heating services that keep you more comfortable when you need it. So contact Liberty Air and Heat at 469-678-9444 or visit them on the web at libertyairandheat.com. Find out how Merchant Masters, DFW, specializing in small business companies, can help you save money and protect your customers' information with our credit card processing and point-of-sale system, including financial savings, lowest possible rates, superior technology, and improved support. Or contact John Beeman, Merchant Masters, DFW, different from all the rest. RowlettFood.com. Do you want to have dinner delivered but you don't want to use Uber Eats? Contact someone locally that can do the same thing at a better price and faster. All you have to do is pick a restaurant on the list at the website, tell us what you'd like to order, then check out. Check out RowlettFoods.com. Give us a call at 972-408-8002 or check us out on the web at RowlettFood.com. At the Jerry Bullitt Training Center, we truly believe experience is the best teacher. With over 50 combined years of knowledge and experience in sports performance and athletic training, our coaches understand exactly what it takes to achieve your goal. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their brand new facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett. RowlettFood.com. Do you want to have dinner delivered but you don't want to use Uber Eats?
Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show, your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk. Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna, and the best co-host anyone could ask for, Cuervo. We cover it all: NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports. Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
All right, and welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. It is me, Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, as we are covering all the games here on a Sunday morning. Of course, that's what we just do best here. As we go, we're going to get Cuervo here on the videos here very soon, guys. And the reason why we're going to just switch to that, we're going to figure out, I've got to use my brain this next week to figure out how we can do a flawless going back and forth from Blog Talk and having a little bit of better sound on the video portion, so you can hear Cuervo when he is not able to be up on the video side as far as that is concerned. So just reading a message here from Cuervo. He's going to join us on the stream, but he's expecting an important phone call, so he'll jump off the stream when that happens, and then he'll get back up on when he's done with the call. And that could be just sudden, so I just want to keep everybody else aware of what's going on as far as that is concerned. So welcome back into the Couch Potato Sports Show. Happy holidays, as you can catch us over here on Facebook Live as well as the YouTube. So that's a pretty interesting thing there. Getting us on YouTube was something that I wanted to try to do. In the future, we'll work on the Instagram and as well as Periscope. We can do Periscope, but we didn't get very many people watching there, so we need to get a little bit more notice up on that before we'll jump more into the Periscope situation and what we'll do there. So that takes us to the games that we're covering here on the Couch Potato Sports Show as our Sunday morning tradition continues on here. So that being said, let's do that. Let's hit the next game that's up for grabs here, and it's an interesting game in reality. Like I said earlier when I was talking with Cuervo, it's the lack of maybe having a good game here and there sometimes is really noticeable. And we get that with what's happening with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, I'm supporting my Jaguars here today. There's my the Jaguar up on the corner over here. What's over here? My other side there. So I'm supporting my Jaguar with my Jaguar jersey. I'll wear the blue one next week. But that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. There's still a game that's going on here, and it could be very interesting as far as what's going to happen out on the football field. Both teams 4-7, sitting at the bottom of the AFC South. Neither one of them are going to be making a run for it right now when you think about it. But some interesting information about coming out, and I'll go over this. Ronnie Harrison has the concussion. Linebacker Miles Jack has got a knee, and Najee Good, some of these guys have been placed on IR. So we're not going to see the regular guys out on the football field for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they move forward. And that's important as far as where they're going to go, because those guys are going to be back next year. So what do you do in these 5 games? Even though you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, no chance for the playoffs, you need to see what you're going to get with the future. So you're going to see a lot of guys being shuffled in and out in those positions, whether it's the safety or the linebacker spot out on the football field. So there's might be a problem with cohesiveness in this game. So whether or not that's good, bad, indifferent, or whatever the case may be, this is going to be a very interesting game. But if you take a look at it, Cuervo was telling me on our last show that he went ahead and put Jameis Winston in his fantasy league over Dak Prescott, which ended up being a good thing. But Tampa Bay right now averaging 28.4 points a game and coming off a 35-22 victory over Atlanta last week, even though Atlanta lost just this past week. That whole situation is something to keep track of as well. so we're seeing more scoring, and why are we doing that? Is because you are getting that work with Jameis Winston. Winston's thrown for 300 or more yards in the last 11 games, or 300 yards or more, and 11 touchdowns. But the biggest problem with Jameis Winston, and everybody knows what it is before I say it, it's the turnover factor without question. 19 times, and with of those 19, 15 of them are interceptions. That is something that they can't be very impressed of or proud of, but what they can be proud of, their wide receivers are amazing. Mike Evans, 1,043 yards, 7 touchdowns. Chris Goodwin, he's got 1,071 yards and 9 touchdowns as well. So they are getting it. If Jameis Winston can deliver the ball, they're getting very good production out of those guys right there, and it makes Jameis Winston's job a lot easier. But the Jaguars in the last 3 games, they're allowing more than 200 yards rushing. So we may, and I say may see Winston out there rushing the football, as they gave up the 200 yards to the Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, and the Tennessee Titans. And what do they all have in common? All in the AFC South. So interesting day there. Also in, what the rivalry that this is. The Tampa Bay rivalry with the Jacksonville Jaguars is always something to watch for. So watch out for that one. Now, also, Shaquille Barrett, career best 12.5 sacks, tied for most in the league. So that's something to keep track of as well as this game is going. And I, as much as I want to pick the Jaguars in this game, they're just not stopping anybody, guys. I would love to be able to say Jacksonville Jaguars go. I will hope for them to get the victory. I don't see how they're going to get it. And that is the biggest problem with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Where are they now? How are they going to move? So we're going to see a lot of guys coming in and out of the game as well, which never makes me feel good. Okay. When you got guys shuffling in and out and not a cohesive unit on the field at all times, it just means you're not a good football team. And that's obvious because of the way that they'll be shipping people in and out of the lineup. So watch for that. That's something to keep track of as you move forward and watch the Jacksonville Jaguars for the rest of the season and within this game. But as much as my heart wants me to go ahead and pick the Jacksonville Jaguars, I can't do it because there's nothing there that makes me inclined that I have got to do this. And Jacksonville, whether it be Nick Foles coming back, is he in the mix? Their running game hasn't been there, even though it should. Although I think they should have bailed up on the running game a long time ago in Jacksonville. His name's slipping my mind. I'll think of it in a second. But I'm right now, when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, you shouldn't be impressed with anything that's happening, whether it's out on the defensive side of the ball or the offensive side of the ball. The defense gets rid of their best player, ships them over to the Rams, and that right there tells you where they feel about the future of this franchise. And I'll say this: if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm saying, dude, you're going absolutely nowhere. You're under contract. You can be pissed off all you want, and you can come up with all the excuses why you won't play. But here's the thing: if you don't play enough, you're not going to be out on the football field. So you make up your mind how you're going to do this. And and just as I say that, I think, and I could be wrong, and I've been known to be wrong, but I will say this: the Jaguars need this game to work toward the future, to see what they may or may not have. And I'm just going to tell you, I don't see a lot of it happening. So that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. Let's see what, there he is, Cuervo, all set and ready to go. What do you think about this game? I think this is a very important game for both teams, as far as, even though these teams suck, I think it's more important for Tampa Bay to continue with what they've been doing and build off of that offensive thing that they're doing. And I think they'll be able to get it done against my Jacksonville Jaguars.
Unfortunately, Sonny, I think you're right. And the reason I say that is because the Jaguars defense is not what we're used to seeing anymore.
Right.
We're seeing a defense that can suffocate just about any offense, and the Jaguars just haven't been that lately.
Definitely.
I mean, you mentioned Miles Jack earlier, right? They traded away Jalen Ramsey.
Yep.
I'll tell you, Telvin Smith is a guy I haven't heard of all season. Now, is that because he got hurt? I think he did get hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Okay, well that explains it, because I'm like, there's no way that the guy's way too good to not be talked about throughout the season. So the fact that he's out as well, it just depletes that Jaguar defense. And yeah, it's nice that Nick Foles is back, but I just don't think they're doing enough offensively for it to really make a huge difference. Because look, Minshew Mania was crazy as it was happening, and he was doing his thing. He was doing a great job. It's just now that Nick Foles is back, it's almost like this offense is starting over again, because now you got to get used to having Nick Foles in the lineup as opposed to a guy that you were used to having in Gardner Minshew. So I think that's what really is throwing this Jaguars team off is just so much that has changed and so many guys that are out for them. It's for your Jaguars, Sonny, it's been a very inconsistent season. I think that's one word that I could use to describe the Jaguars this year. It's very inconsistent.
Very, very hugely inconsistent. Let me ask you a question. Do you have your wired headphones handy by any chance? Because, or actually, this is coming through the video. What I'm going to do, I want you to disconnect and then come back in, because you're. I heard every word, but it kind of broke up a little bit. So disconnect from the video and retry to connect to the video, and then I'll bring you back in when you make the reconnection. So disconnect really quick on that, and then come back in. Are you capable of doing that for me?
Of course, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll have Cuervo go ahead and jump into this. He'll be back here. Try to get a better stream with him as far as his audio was concerned. So hopefully we'll get him back here fairly quickly. Yeah, I am on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though neither one of these two football teams are worth a nickel. In reality, I'd love to see the Jaguars win. I'll root for them, but I just don't think we're going to end up seeing what we are going to need to see when you're talking about the game is concerned. So something to keep track of as we move forward. We're at the top of the hour. This is a good time for Cuervo not, having a connection. So we'll get him back in. What we'll do is we'll jump into our commercials here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Oh, I know how to do it. So before we end up doing that, guys, keep track of the Couch Potato Sports Show as we move forward into what we do best, okay, which is football. The playoffs are coming, and we need to hammer down on what we think is going to end up happening as far as the team is concerned. Where are the teams going to be? Where are they going to line up? And guys, we're going to put together a playoff show probably before, because you got to remember that when those things go on Saturday, what's going to happen is those first weeks of playoffs, they happen on Saturday. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to get set and do a different show. We might have to do it on a Friday night. Not sure what Cuervo's lineup is for. But that being said, of course, that's the name of our show. We'll try to get that part squared away and going from there. Hold on one second. I have ran into a little bit of a problem because my actual computer crashed, but I am all set and ready to go. Let me hit this. So that's what we're going to do. So when you're going to be talking playoffs and everything else, when they go into the first round, those Saturday games, we are going to go ahead and get on air. And again, I'm not sure if it's going to be Thursday, not sure if it's going to be Friday or how it's going to end up happening, but we're going to try to do that and get it all squared away so we can bring you what we think we're going to see in those games. Now, that also being said, that's the name of our show. The interesting situation as we move forward is where teams are going to lie and who's going to play who. That's the big question as you take a look at these games. So we're going to do this. We're going to take a quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. When we come back, we will check in on all that. And there's Cuervo or Brian Tarvin talking a little bit about his team and what they did. Good stuff. How about the Auburn Tigers getting the victory? That is so huge, I think. So we'll talk to him about that when he gets time. So let's do this. Let's take the quick break here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. And there we go.
Let Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors help you restore your home to its like-new condition. Need a contractor? Let us be your first stop as well as your last. Want to see what kind of work we do? Check out our Facebook page and you can see the craftsmanship you'll receive and expect from Buffalo Creek Doors and Floors. Give Rodney James a call at 214-536-2607 or check him out on the web at www.buffalocreekdoorsandfloors.com.
Being taken for a ride? Check out Costlow Insurance, serving Texans since 1981. Bundle your home, auto, or business insurance to save a ton. Costlow Insurance on the corner of Main Street and Rowlett Road, where we make insurance fun. Or check us out on the web at CostlowInsurance.com, where we always have the coffee pot on.
Yeah, but is it fresh?
Are you looking for a new home? Want to know what your house could sell for in today's market? Then you need to contact Realtor Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Rockwall. Whether you're buying, selling, leasing, or investing, he can help you get where you need to be. That's 214-236-2914. Jeremy Morgan with Ray Hubbard Real Estate Group, Keller Williams Rockwall.
At the Jerry Bullitt Training Center, we truly believe experience is the best teacher. With over 50 combined years of knowledge and experience in sports performance and athletic training, our coaches understand exactly what it takes to achieve your goal. Contact Melvin Bullitt at 214-326-7853 or visit their brand new facility just outside of Waterview at 8900 Princeton Road in Rowlett. At Wesson General Contracting Incorporated, we're your one-stop shop for all your general contracting needs. So roofing, gutters, sidings, fence staining, painting, foundation problems, or roof damage are no problems at all. Give us a call at 214-200-5588. That's 214-200-5588. Wesson General Contractors, proud sponsor of the Rowlett Eagles radio broadcast.
RowlettFood.com. Do you want to have dinner delivered but you don't want to use Uber Eats? Contact someone locally that can do the same thing at a better price and faster. All you have to do is pick a restaurant on the list at the website, tell us what you'd like to order, then check out. Check out RowlettFoods.com. Give us a call at 972-408-8002 or check us out on the web at RowlettFood.com. Go custom. Get happy. Tell us what you love. We're your local neighborhood window covering experts who truly understand your needs, so we deliver the perfect solution for your home. So check out Budget Blinds of Rowlett, serving Rowlett, Wiley, Saxe, and Garland. Give them a call at 972-722-9300. Budget Blinds of Rowlett, where we listen to our customers' needs.
At Nest Egg Wealth Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement failed to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. It's simply not a benefit that you start receiving at age 62. If you would like a complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, please give our office a call today at 972-412-6064 or visit us on the web at nesteggadvice.com.
Find out how Merchant Masters, DFW, specializing in small business companies, can help you save money and protect your customers' information with our credit card processing and point-of-sale system, including financial savings, lowest possible rates, superior technology, and improved support. Or contact John Beeman, Merchant Masters, DFW, different from all the rest.
Welcome to the Couch Potato Sports Show, your internet radio home for all sports, news, and talk. Join Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio, and the Eagle Eye, Bill Cerna, and the best co-host anyone could ask for, Cuervo. We cover it all: NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, as well as indoor football and high school sports. Now, it's time. Here's Sonny Clark.
All right, everybody, welcome into the Couch Potato Sports Show, back into it. Cuervo's still trying to make a better connection up on the video. We should get him back here fairly soon as we are covering all the games that you'll catch in the NFL today. Thanks for joining us on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Check us out on Wednesday or Thursday. It's just whenever I want to, just because I want to. It's usually on Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what's going on in the news, depending on how busy I may be, and it's usually around 10 o'clock. It's something that we, it's just an extra added thing as far as what I'm thinking about. Sometimes we'll get Cuervo, sometimes I'll bring on a guest, sometimes I won't. What I am going to do is I'm going to bring in a former WWE tag team champion, along as part of Men on a Mission, Sir Mo, along with Mabel who has passed away. Guys, I do the commentary for SOAR Championship Wrestling, which is Sir Mo's wrestling promotion that he does. So we'll be doing that, and we're having the big promotion that happens in February. It's like the WrestleMania of his wrestling promotion, and he has chosen me to continue on and do the commentary for that. So we'll be bringing on Sir Mo. We'll talk a little bit. I want to go back into his history because I remember them, but the backstories behind of what's going on as far as Men on a Mission and things of that sort, those are the things that I'm really interested in. I want to learn a little bit more about Men on a Mission themselves and things like that. So you'll hear it directly from a former WWE tag team champion, and we'll be bringing him on this show. It's fantastic, and the fun that we have with what we do as far as the promotion is concerned is outstanding. So I'm looking forward to having more fun with him. I got to turn on my computer. Give me 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, as my computer has crashed. But I don't need the computer in reality to do what we do here on a Sunday morning. Sometimes with what I did to get primed and prepped for this one. I'm ready to go. I don't necessarily need the computer, although I want the computer. Just mainly, I can maybe check up on some things that I don't know about. But that being said, of course, that's the name of this show. We're going to head on into the next game on the Couch Potato Sports Show, and an interesting game like here, because the Titans, who are 6-5, they take on the Indianapolis Colts, who are also 6-5. And that is going to be a huge game because guess what? The Texans 6-5. So, actually, I think the Texans are 7. I can't check that. I got to get an update as far as where the Texans are. They play, I think, in the evening. The Texans. Let me find that. Where is it? The Texans. Where is it? I can't find it. I'll find it in a moment. If someone's watching, let me know what the record is. But in reality, I got it on this for a reason. I did do the research. This could be a battle for first place, depending on what happens as far as Houston is concerned. And Houston is taking on the New England Patriots. So a lot riding here. Big time also information that I don't have up on my list that I just heard. T.Y. Hilton not going to be in the game for the Indianapolis Colts. That, along with not having Eric Ebron in the lineup, is going to really be huge for this football team as they move forward, trying to get the victory today. Now, this game is in Indianapolis, so you got that home field advantage quite possibly working for you if you are the Indianapolis Colts. But there's a lot of things to keep in track of as well. Their quarterback position, how is Jacoby Brissett? Is he really ready to go and ready to play? And you look at the situation as far as they're concerned, the Titans, they have 842 total yards over the past 2 games, guys. That's over 421 yards a game. Yeah, I did that math right there in that big noggin of mine. So you're looking at and averaging close to 30 points a game, 29.4 over the last 5 games. And that's because of Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is 5-1 since he's taken over at the quarterback position. So the Titans, they may not be the football team that you look at and go, you've got to worry about. But Ryan Tannehill is not necessarily a scrub, even though he kind of is. I get it. You may not in reality trust Ryan Tannehill after his works that you've seen over at the Miami Dolphins. But at the same time, you've got to look at some of the other things that could end up happening with them. Also, guys, here's another one that I've forgot about. The Colts, Marlon Mack has a broken right hand, and he is a Pro Bowl tight end. They put him on injured reserve. So 3 huge injuries just within this week. Well, last week was Eric Ebron, T.Y. Hilton not being in the lineup. Then you put the running back Marlon Mack out. It's just not really good, as far as that's concerned. Yet they have another injury as well. I forget the name of the other guy right there. So there's a lot that is heading the Colts' way. And one of the things that is heading their way is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a badass. We can sit here and talk about whatever it is. And listen, I've talked about on this show that I'm not impressed with running backs who get 1,000 yards a season. Well, there's still 5 more games left to go for Derrick Henry to be that guy that I think if you're going to be a great running back, you'll end up with 1,200, somewhere near 1,200 yards, in that area. Right now, the Texans running back Derrick Henry is only 9 yards from his second straight 1,000-yard season. So probably on his first or second carry, he's going to get that 1,000 yards. Then the rest of the year, he's going to, I don't want to say that he is going to go ahead and, coast, because that part's not going to end up happening. But, Derrick Henry, that guy is super bad. So the Texans Greg, I appreciate that. With the update, they are 7-4 for the Houston Texans. That's why this game is also. And I see you there, Cuervo. Give me a second, and I'll get you back in here in just a moment. So look out for that. Let me go ahead and bring on. Let's see if that stream is Cuervo. Derrick Henry. He's a badass. I mean, he's a bona fide badass. 1,000 yards. Got 5 more games left to go in order. Could you imagine if he could average? This guy could get over 1,200, maybe close to 1,300 yards, and that right there solidifies me as when I look at running backs as a badass.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a badass, but it's also pretty standard. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, to me, I think the threshold now to consider someone elite in the league is, and this is just my opinion, I would say anything over 1,500 yards. And not a lot of guys do that anymore. So that's why, to me, I think the standard is raised. If you're at the 2,000 mark, then I mean, obviously that's borderline, historic. So, but I think 1,500. I mean, and that's, again, that's not to say anything bad about a guy that gets 1,300 yards, and that's something that a lot of people I don't think would expect from a guy like a Derrick Henry. But see, the thing about Derrick Henry, though, Sonny, is that he gets his yards in big chunks too.
Yes, he does.
He'll go for 60 one day, and then he'll go for 175 the next. To me, the consistency is not there. But you know what? At the end of the day, you get them how you get them, and and you produce no matter what. So that's what I see as far as that. Number 4 in yards rushing, he's run for. Oh, okay. So he's got a season's worth of games, and he's close to 1,600 yards. Is what your banner here is telling me.
Yep. That's what considers me as a bona fide badass. I mean, to go back, because I feel the same way about you. I mean, because in the NFL, the running backs are, the standard is 1,000 yards a season, and everybody's all hopped up. Just do the math on that. There's 16 games a season. Just do the math. That puts it about 74, between 74 and 80. Off the top of my head, that's where those numbers are, and that doesn't impress Sonny Clark. Okay, if you do 1,600 yards, that's 100 yards a game. Now you've gained my attention, and that's what we're getting with Derrick Henry. And again, some huge injuries coming on the Indianapolis side right now. When you take a look at it, losing Eric Ebron, you're not going to have T.Y. Hilton in the game. You got Mack that is on IR, so there's a big loss there as well. So there's a lot of things that the Colts are going to have to look at, but you look at the defense. I remember we sit here talking on this show, they have got to shore up that defense. Well, with Derrick Henry doing what he's doing, guess what's right in front of him? The Colts defense hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 29 games, and that dates back to the beginning of 2017. So when you're looking at what's about ready to come at you, the Colts have they've really learned how to stop the run. But this is a football team that's been built that way. The criticism of the Indianapolis Colts is their defense, as far as the secondary is concerned.
Yeah, it's pretty weak, Sonny, and they've never been known to have a good secondary. I mean, even back in the Bob Sanders days. I mean, Bob Sanders was an amazing football player, but even then, the overall that secondary was weak, and they had Vontae Davis for a little while, and he was pretty good. But at the end of the day, that front seven is really good. And it's always been that way with the Colts. They've always had a decent front seven, but the secondary is bad. And, that I don't know if it's just a matter of not being able to evaluate the talent in the secondary position, but they've always been known for that. So, luckily for them for today, the Tennessee Titans really don't have elite wide receivers or even an elite tight end for that matter. So is it going to make a difference? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference whatsoever. So when you're looking at this game, Cuervo, with the injuries that are mounting up over on Indianapolis side, and again, I do not trust, and I have not trusted Jacoby Brissett. So that being said, I am looking to see the Tennessee Titans having a pretty good day today.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it, right? So it sounds like you're going with the Titans, and I don't think I'm going to go that way. I think I'm going to go on the other side. I think I like the Colts at home to beat Tennessee and continue to push for a playoff run. I'm thinking, oh yeah, Houston's got the lead, but I think Indianapolis is right behind them because they were tied for the division at that Thursday night game, and then Houston won that game. So they're one behind now, if I'm thinking right. So if they can win today and, whatever happens tonight with that Patriots-Texans game, we could see the AFC South right back into a tie after tonight.
Absolutely. And yes, Houston has the one game on both of them. Houston has the New England Patriots. They are 7-4. These two teams meeting up. Both are 6-5. And Tennessee right now is definitely in a spot. You look at this division of football, I think you're only going to see the division champions making the playoffs, as the Buffalo Bills have already pretty much wrapped up one of those wild cards. So that means there's only one other wild card for the rest of the AFC. So I think that's all you're going to get. And Tennessee coming off and playing really well, and with the tough game that the Houston Texans have going on coming up here this, I think that's Sunday Night Football. That's going to be a tough one for them. And, I don't know. I'm still undecided about who I think is going to win that game, but that is something that we got to take a look at as we move forward into this one. It should be really interesting. You're going to go ahead and go with the Indianapolis Colts. I am going Tennessee. I forgot to give you the quick updates here as far as we have not got Tarvin's picks unless he put it in the messages, and I haven't.
He did. He put them in.
He put them in. So we'll get his picks out during the show. My brother's on Tennessee. By the way, the Baltimore San Francisco game we were talking about, my brother's on Baltimore as well as Cuervo. I'm on San Francisco. The Philadelphia Eagles at Miami were crossed on that. We're also crossed on the Jets and the Green Bay Packers. I got the Cleveland Browns when they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, and we have not heard from Bryce. I don't know if we are going to hear from Bryce because he only had so much time available in the morning, and we were talking AFL at that time. So that's going to take us to the next game that's here on the Couch Potato Sports Show as we cover them all every Sunday. It's that being said, make sure you join us as we got a really cool setup here for the video, and we're going to continue with that, and we'll do that. We'll continue into the next game here on the Couch Potato Sports Show as you take a look at a football team as the Redskins and the Panthers don't really have a lot to say about this one, more so than that a lot of the talk is about Kyle Allen, right now 3 touchdown performance and a 34-31 loss against the Saints. Listen, that's nothing to be ashamed of. They kept it close. I think they're good. They're good enough to probably get a win here today against a Washington Redskins team that hasn't been able to really put it together. And he feels like they're close to turning things around as far as that team is concerned. And the Redskins are the Redskins. Now, the only thing about the Redskins is if this game was at home, I'd pick them. Because last week we did that, Cuervo. We went against the grain, grabbed up that Redskins check underneath the W side because they're a tough football team at home. I just don't think they're going to get that when they take on the Carolina Panthers today. Do you?
No, Sonny, I like Tarvin's Panthers as well today. Number one, it's a road game for the Redskins, and as we just mentioned, that they're not very good on the road. Number two, Kyle Allen is playing very well. Look, even though they lost that game in New Orleans last week, I think it still built some confidence, not just in Kyle Allen himself, but I think Ron Rivera is starting to feel a lot more comfortable now about having him as the quarterback moving forward for the Carolina Panthers, because let's be honest, chances are Cam Newton will not be a Carolina Panther next year. So games like that shows Ron Rivera or whoever the head coach is going to be in Carolina next year that, look, we'll be able to compete in the division, because that's always the number one thing. If you can win the division, if you can compete in the division, from there it progresses as far as how you compete in whether it's the AFC or NFC. It all starts with how you stack up in your division. And a game like that, showing the franchise that you can go on the road and hang with the New Orleans Saints team, that can be signs of what's to come next year. And I think even for games like that, like I said, I mean, Panthers fans, the organization, head coach should feel really good about Kyle Allen being the quarterback for the future of the Carolina Panthers.
Well, I don't know if I feel very comfortable about Allen as the future of your franchise. I really don't. Maybe it's me. I'm not impressed. But maybe if we get more time and we'll see him more and everything else, we'll get an idea of what we can expect from him. By the way, the Panthers got some injury problems. Defensive tackle Poe, Devontae Poe's out. Greg Vaughn is placed on IR. Greg Van Roten, and Darrell Williams is going to take the start for Kyle. I didn't complete the thought there on the banner, but those are the situations that are happening as far as that game is concerned. So something to look forward in the game. So I'm not sure where you are, Cuervo. What do you think about this one? As the who are you picking?
Keep pounding. I'm going to take Tarvin's Panthers. I'm rolling with Tarvin's Panthers today.
And I'm going to go with the Panthers just more in the fact of the situation. Washington's, I like what ended up happening. I want to take a flyer on him. I don't know about Dwayne Haskins. I don't know if he's going to be any good or if he's not. But out of it, you know what? Cuervo, I'm gonna do what everybody says that you shouldn't do, which is go back up on your first pick. I like Dwayne Haskins, and this is not a great Panther football team. If this was a good football team, I would say, hey, Panthers, no problem. But they with that last banner that I put up, as far as some defensive players that are not in the football game and some different kinds of look at right now. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to take Washington just more in the fact that see if they can put it together, see if they can build off what they did last week. And by the way, get off of Dwayne Haskins, but about the selfies on the side. I mean, the guy was excited. It was his first game. Yeah, I know he's a professional, but listen, those are things that he's going to remember forever. So I don't hold it against him at all. And if you do hold it against them, you're just some kind of punk. You got to give the kid a break on his first game out there. So I think everybody has just lost it a little bit too much on that subject.
Yeah, I mean that is. I mean, it really depends on just how you look at it, Sonny. I mean, Dwayne Haskins has shown signs of that he can be an effective quarterback in this league. It's just he's so young right now that it's hard to tell. Just same thing with Kyle Allen. I mean, I'm not saying Kyle Allen is a franchise quarterback. I'm just saying that the way he played last week and the way he's played this season so far, it's going to be easier to let go of Cam Newton if that's what they decide to do.
I think you're right. I think they are going to do that, by the way, though, don't you?
I'm almost certain it's going to happen. I don't see them keeping Cam Newton. And it's crazy to think about because just 3-4 years ago, you're talking about this guy was the MVP of the league.
Absolutely.
And he took the Panthers to the Super Bowl. So it just goes to show you how fast things can change in this league. And if you don't continue to perform and you're not producing, and look, they don't care who you are. Look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning even got cut as a professional. So, and you're talking about one of the greatest of all time there. So, Haskins though, I mean, he shows signs. He does, and I think in the future with a little bit more mentoring and some coaching and whatnot, I think he can be a good quarterback. Not great, and and whatnot. But I think he'll be good enough to be a starter in this league. So, but I like Carolina today. I just think, look, as long as Christian McCaffrey is playing, I will always give the Panthers a shot at winning the football.
I'm right there with you on Christian McCaffrey. I love it, but we've seen since the team hasn't been playing very well, we're kind of slowly seeing him slow down a little bit. Last game we didn't get what we wanted out of him. Even the game before that is probably not what I thought I was going to see as far as he was concerned. As far as that position is concerned. And it's an important position in reality when you think about it. The running back position for them right now is the most important because really, to be honest, Cuervo, it's all they got.
This is very true. I mean, their best receiver is DJ Moore, who, it's a guy that's inconsistent. He does, he has good game. Like last week, he had a great game, and I put him in my starting lineup and got me a ton of points. But before that, he was, giving me 8-10 points and wasn't really doing a whole lot. But at the wide receiver position for the Panthers, there's not really a whole lot to be excited about if you're a Panthers fan. I mean, Greg Olson's a nice tight end. I'm always going to have love for Greg Olson, but as far as guys that can get on the outside and make some plays, Moore shows signs of it, but it just hasn't been consistent enough. So right now, I mean, it's one of those situations where the Panthers have no choice but to use McCaffrey as much as they can, while teams are, might not pay attention to it, or they can find ways to get him open, downfield or even on screen passes. That's why you see the Panthers run so many screens, because they really don't have any other choice, Sonny.
Yeah,
he's the best player.
Yeah, and he makes things happen when the ball gets in his hands. I would like to, I know we don't see this, but I'd like to actually see him get further than 5 or 10 yards down the field before he gets the ball in the air. I'd love to see Christian McCaffrey catch a 15, 20-yard pass and then, either take it to the house or move forward on it. Just one of the things that I see. But I'm still going to stay out with Washington, just more in the fact they don't have anything to lose. The coach has been on everybody's ass in there. So some guys, that's what they need. Some guys, they actually like a Callahan type of coach when they play these games. So whether or not it hurts someone's feelings or not, I don't think too many players are worried about it as you move forward. So I'm going to go with Washington, just a flyer out there, kind of a little bit of upset as far as that's concerned. I got another upset that I'm going to talk about here a little bit later on the Couch Potato Sports Show, but it's going to take us to the next game that's up on file, as the Rams are going to be taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And Cuervo, this is an interesting game as well, because this game is in Arizona. The Rams haven't been playing great football as of late. All you got to do is look at the final scores on some of the games that you've seen out there. But here's one of the things that really, when I'm looking at the game, as far as health is concerned, there's a lot of health that's going on. Arizona was on the bye, so they can get some of their guys back that are nicked and cut up. And the Rams they've just been into some bad games right now where they've taken the losses. So the Arizona Cardinals, who are 3-7-1 coming off of their bye this week, and they want to stop a losing streak as well. So you got a couple of teams within the same division trying to break a losing streak. And now which one will come out on top? I guess that's the biggest question. But when both teams are on a losing streak coming into it, it really, in this type of game, you'll find out who really wants it. And I'm going to tell you right now, as much as I hate to admit I was I might have been about the quarterback position in Arizona. So far, even though it's 3-7-1, and you look at that number and go, good God, that's less than 30% victories. Yeah, I did the math in my head. It's less than 30% because they played 11. But you see what could end up happening at the quarterback position. And if you are not set and ready to go with that, that's going to be a problem. And I think right now the Rams are a football team that has got to be aware about what's coming their way. But the Rams also want to get past that game they lost, and they're glad this game is short, at least if you believe what Sean McVay says.
I mean, yeah, it was short by a day, but I don't know. To me, that's not really a short week. A short week to me is, you play Sunday and then you play again Thursday. But anyhow, how do I sound? Sorry, I'm getting messages saying that I need a sound check. It sounds bad.
You're cutting a little bit in and out, and it's probably because of the wireless situation. On our software, it says that it's always better if it's wired. So I don't know. Maybe next week. I don't know if we can try. And I mean, you're not using the headsets as far as your audio, so I think it's the wireless situation going on there. Guys, deal with it. You can understand what he says out there, so just deal with it. It's not too horrible, but yes, he is breaking up, Nick. We hear him. But we're going to ride with it because we only got about 20 more minutes left to go in this show. But in this game, I've decided that maybe there's something to the Arizona Cardinals. I again, guys, I'm not saying that the Arizona Cardinals are a good football team, but they took it to the San Francisco 49ers on the 49ers football field. They didn't have the worst week right now. But you look at this stat I just put up on the board. If you're not watching on video, Jared Goff over the past 3 games, the fourth-year quarterback has only completed 61% of his passes for how many yards a game? 209. Go back 365 days, Cuervo. Go back even to the year before that. This guy was averaging 275 to 300 yards a game, and you're not getting that right now from the Rams. I think the Rams might have, depleted their money with all their guys. They're not going to get draft picks. They're not going to have any, they got a whole bunch of problems. And I think today it's Sunday, so it's a come to Jesus time. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to pull this one out. And now, the Arizona Cardinals, let's be honest, Cuervo, are not stacked in all their positions. So that's what makes this game a good one today.
Well, no, what makes it good is this bold prediction that you're making right now. I can't roll with you on this one, Sonny. I'm sorry. I'm going. Look, Rams embarrassed themselves at home last week on Monday Night Football, right?
Yes.
To me, I think the Rams want to bounce back, and I think that's the big reason why Sean McVay says that they had a short week, because they're looking for a bounce back game, and I think this is the one.
Well, this should be the one, Cuervo. If you're going to have a bounce back game, you have to, and if you're considered a good football team, you have to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, so if you're the Rams, what you did for the last 2 years, and you're having a season of struggles like you are, you need to do this. Now, you look at the numbers as far as the $110 million for a contract extension, and it don't even start until 2021. That's guaranteed money. And so when you're looking at this game and you're looking at the quarterback position or this season for the Rams, you might have to write this one off and try to start anew next year. Some interesting things when I was doing Kingsley was being considered taking a job with McVay last year before he was fired over at Texas Tech. So that's something to keep track of. Also, the Rams right now, they got to get back to work right now, because these kind of games, okay, what has to happen is you have to make sure the balance of the game is at the same, really, in reality. 50-50. Don't have your defense out on the football field for as long as you got to do it. Those 3 and outs are one of the things that kills legs. And now also you think about the quarterback that they're coming. This guy, you're going to see some knee injuries here today coming from the Rams defensive side if they're not ready for what's the kid's name? Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray he's going to fake some people out of their jocks today. So they better be ready for the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm just kind of wondering if and truly they are ready for it.
Well, I mean, I guess it all depends on how they approached it. I mean, are they gonna try to play contain type defense? Are they gonna have a spy? Are they gonna blitz Kyler Murray when he's not expecting it? Like, there's a lot of different ways you can go about it, but they have to find which way works best based on the defense that the Rams have, personnel wise, formation wise, things like that. So whichever one works best to be able to contain them, almost at Lamar Jackson, because I see your banner there, Kyler Murray. Whichever one is going to work best based on their personnel, that's what they're going to have to do. And
well, they better be ready for it. I mean, because they're getting a double dose in 2 weeks. They're getting the double dose of the same kind of quarterback that is headed their way. So that's going to be huge as well.
Well, I think that helps out too. I think that helps out that they had to go up against Lamar Jackson last week, and now they get another guy, Kyler Murray, this week, and what they can do, they go back and they're like, okay, what did we do wrong against Lamar Jackson?
Absolutely. And as much as I want to take the Rams, this was one of the things that I put up in the banner. The Rams receivers right now, he's got plenty of guys to throw to because he's got people back up off of injury and things of that sort, whether it's Cooper Kupp and some of these other guys that are out there. 400 yards apiece for Kupp, the Rams. 4 receivers with 400 yards apiece. Cooper Kupp 880 in the last 2 games, by the way. And Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks. These numbers are huge, but they are not resulting in victories. Those numbers are really good for them at the wide receiver position, and they need to bring them back. But Arizona right now scoring at least 25 points a game for 6 games, and that started since week number 5. And by the way, that's the most in the NFL, scoring over 25 points a game this season. But the problem for the Arizona Cardinals in reality is they can't turn the ball over. I didn't complete my thought on the banner. They just can't turn the ball over. And if they get into a situation where they turn the ball over, Aaron Donald and who's the guy that Jalen Ramsey, these guys are going to be all over it, and they're just going to feast all day long up on the Arizona Cardinals.
And look, I think that's something that very well could happen because you're talking about 2 of the best at what they do in Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. So never discount or never doubt that they can just come out and absolutely take over a game on the defensive side.
Yeah,
it can happen in a moment. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they can start off hot, or just when you think that they're not going to do anything in the game, maybe because they've been quiet in the first 3 quarters, they totally take over that 4th quarter and it completely changes the game. You can see a situation where it goes from Arizona's up 10 to all of a sudden now the Rams are up 4 points.
Absolutely.
So it can change that fast when you have guys on the defensive side like an Aaron Donald and a Jalen Ramsey. So don't ever discount them out is what I'm saying.
Yep. My brother is going to go with the Rams. I'm going Arizona. You're going Rams as well. I got to write that down before I forget. But that's going to take us into the next game. Huh?
Isn't he a Rams fan, Sonny?
My brother is a Rams fan.
Yeah.
And that hasn't bode very well for him late, but last year at least they made the Super Bowl. My brother's got a problem with how much money these guys make, so it makes it hard for him to watch. But that's just what we do, and so he jumps on the show. He was on a little bit earlier today as well. So that being said, of course, that's the name of the show. We're going to head on to the next game as we got 20 more minutes. Well, less than that. The next game that's up on board is the Chargers taking on the Denver Broncos. Normally, I don't have a lot to say about this. There's more about the jaw-jacking that's going back between some of the players in this game. And it was all over the news. Chris Henry held Kareem Allen to only 18 yards and 4 catches when they beat the Broncos 21-13 last time they were out on the football field. So, there's a lot of things. So Allen, he jumps on the social media after he only did the 18 yards, and he says, y'all know damn well that boy can't hold a jock strap to me, so just stop it. Well, you're going to have to do more. Now, part of that is Phillip Rivers. Let's be honest, Cuervo. Phillip Rivers has not been able to do what he needs to do as a quarterback to deliver the ball as well, and that's a big part of what's happening regarding maybe Allen not getting the production that he is looking. But you can't just count out Chris Harris on the other side of the ball. The guy is a shutdown corner. It's just too bad right now he plays for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think the problem with the Chargers, too, is and just based off a little bit that I've seen them the past few weeks, that offensive line is not playing well. I mean, it's bad. It's one of the worst offensive lines I've seen from the Chargers in recent memory. I mean, normally they're pretty stacked on offensive line, and they normally give Phillip Rivers a lot of time in the pocket to get the ball where he wants to put it. And it just hasn't happened lately. I'd say the past month, I've seen that Chargers offensive line just completely fall apart. And this is a time now more than ever that they need the running game. They need the running game. They need Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler. Those guys really haven't done a whole lot. Like, Eckler was a stud before Melvin Gordon came back. But ever since Gordon has come back, it's been completely different. Like, the Chargers just can't get anything going offensively, and it's all because that offensive line is just so bad. Now, that being said, one bright light, as you can see in my eyes there, one bright spot though for the Chargers, and I'm a huge fan of his, is that they do get Derwin James back. He's active again for them on defense.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see him play. I want to see how he does in his first game back because I'm a huge Derwin James fan. So, it'd be interesting to see, if he's going to start or how often are they going to get him in the lineup. And is it even worth, risking him getting injured again? So just maybe let him play limited amount of time, because I don't see the Chargers, making a run to where they're going to, grab a wild card spot. So
yeah, I don't see it either, and that it's going to be real interesting. Also, it's a rumor, no one's confirmed. Drew Lock is going to get the start today. So you got to look at Brandon Allen. Just had a real bad day. Did not play very well. He only completed 10 passes last week before that. So that's something that they're keeping an eye on without question. And also the Chargers are 5th in the league in defense and fourth against the pass. So these are things that you have to keep in mind when you're going to decide to pick the game. But Phillip Rivers, he has thrown 7 interceptions in 2 games where they had a chance to win it at the end of the game, and it ends up on an interception. And you can say whatever you want. That is not Phillip Rivers like, but maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe is that part of his game anymore? I don't know. But you look on the other side, Von Miller, he limped, and that was an ugly limp, by the way, when he went off the field against the Buffalo Bills, and they're just trying to write that off like that was anything big there, Cuervo. And the Broncos linebacker Alexander, he is back out on the football field. We haven't seen him since he came back. The situation featured 2 pass breakups and an interception for him when he was back last time that they played. So something to keep in mind as you look in this game. So I guess the question is, Cuervo, with this game going on, who you have on the winning side?
So to be honest with you, Sonny, and I'm not trying to be funny at all, this was actually a pretty tough game for me to pick, just because of how bad these teams are playing right now. And
they're horrible.
It's just really, it's a lesser of the 2 evils, right? So
yeah,
I'm thinking, like, who's playing worse? Because one team is 4-7, the other one's 3-8. So
yes.
they're both bad records.
Well, I'll tell you who I'm going. In this case, it's the home team. I mean, they're both so bad. It's just like, and Phillip Rivers is, he's a turnover machine right now, and I'm talking a machine, Cuervo. He's getting Jameis Winston bad, and that's something that if you're Phillip Rivers, you better figure out very quickly, because it's making yourself and your football team really look bad. So I'm actually gonna, even though I've been trying to pick the Denver Broncos and not successfully for a while, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to try it again. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Denver Broncos. So might give you an idea of what you might want to pick. I don't know. It sounded like you were a little hesitant of being on the record first on this one.
Yeah, a little bit. I kind of wanted to see where you were going with it, maybe to influence me one way or the other. But, instinct tells me that I think the Chargers will find a way to win, even though they're having so many offensive line problems. I just think Denver right now, and it all depends too on how bad that Von Miller is health-wise. I mean,
yep. And the rookie quarterback, I see why someone wouldn't want to do it. I mean, so that's another thing. The rookie quarterback, if Locke does start, you're taking a risk. But then again, there's not a lot of film on a guy like that too either. So there's some advantages for that.
Yeah, I mean, look at Thursday. I mean, my Chicago Bears had their hands full against, that third string quarterback that the Detroit Lions had to go up against, because there was no film on him. I mean, nobody knew what his strengths and weaknesses were. So, for the Denver quarterback, I mean, it's kind of the same story. So the fact that Drew Lock is not playing.
It's just rumor. They haven't even announced who's going to be the starting quarterback. So you just don't know who's going to run out there today.
Never mind, it's a later game. I was going to say, doesn't the game start in like 5 minutes? But no, it's one of the later games.
Yeah,
you might want to know 5 minutes before the game starts who your quarterback is. I'm just saying, but
yeah, exactly.
But even regardless, I mean, even 3 hours before the game, you should want to know, or you should have an idea of who you want starting for your football team.
They probably know. They just haven't really announced it. I think that's where that ends up happening as far as that's concerned. Now, Cuervo, let me ask what your schedule is. We are going to go over, as we're trying to cover them all here on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Do you have time to go over? I mean, we're going to sit and watch football.
Absolutely.
We'll watch a little football as we go over as well. So let's head into yeah, there you go. All right, so let's go ahead into the next game, as these are the later games, so at least we'll get them out of the way. The Oakland Raiders, they are 6-5. They're taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs are a shocking 7-4, by the way. Dropping games they really shouldn't, Cuervo, when you think about what's going on there. But right here, this is the contender game for the Oakland Raiders. After, you can say whatever you want, though. Last week, as far as the Oakland Raiders are concerned, we talked about who's going to be a team that are going to be in there, who's going to play. But, they got shellacked last week, 34-3 last week. So, I don't know, Cuervo. I don't know if the Oakland Raiders are for real or if they're a joke or what the situation is. I don't know how much I trust Chucky. I don't know where they honestly feel that they fit, because really, in reality, if you look at the AFC and the way it's working out, there's only one spot available. That means whoever wins the division is in, then you're battling the other teams in the AFC for the teams that are in second place to make the playoffs. So this depends on where he is, but I like Derek Carr, always have. I thought this guy would take this team to the Super Bowl, and he's showing that maybe him and Gruden are getting together a little bit better. We're seeing them winning some football games that they probably shouldn't, and obviously so, as if you go by the picks. But really, in reality, when you think about your Raiders, did they look past the Jets when they got beat that way? And that could have been, but that's just an easy excuse in my eyes, Sir Cuervo. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This division can go either way, Sonny. I mean, obviously, if say the Raiders find a way to pull this game out, now you got a tie in the division. You got 2 7-5 teams going into the thick of December, even though today's only the first. But it's like we say every year: December football is what really counts. And
it starts December 1 is when it starts, baby. It's all about December, especially down here in Dallas. That's everybody talking. But that's not just for the Dallas Cowboys. That goes for teams that are on the mediocre side if you are going to be good. Because the way the NFL sets up the schedule, you're playing division foes at the end of the season. And those are all important division foes. And if they are close within the division like they are, like the Oakland Raiders, if they win today, not only are they tied for first place, but they'll wipe out the tiebreaker in reality with both of the games under their belt against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 7-4. So it's an all-important game. It's put up or shut up in reality when you're looking at this game.
Yeah, and it absolutely has to be. And that's why I like Week 17 being all divisional games, because it just means that much more. Because we're going to see at least 2 or 3 different scenarios where games that are going to be played in Week 17 are going to determine the division winners. Too bad this game isn't in Week 17, because it would just make it that much more intriguing to watch. I mean, there's more impact on playoff race and stuff like that. But we're still going to get that in Week 17. It's just Chiefs Raiders is such a huge rivalry. It would just make it that much more exciting because of what's on the line. So, I mean, I still say that this is going to be an important game. I think that's, I still say that this game is going to be one to keep an eye out on, even though a lot of people probably feel that the Raiders don't have much of a shot.
I call it a mini marquee is what I call this game, Cuervo, because of the banner that I put up. Chiefs right now, they get a lot of guys back, and that is huge, and especially Tyreek Hill. He's likely to play if you believe what's being thrown out there as far as that's concerned. Also, you look at the Chiefs, 8 big plays of 20 yards or more, but guess what? And I wrote it down wrong. So is the Oakland Raiders, just so that you know. So that whole situation, as far as the numbers are concerned, the Raiders have struggled to limit those big 20-yard plays, and that's what you get with Patrick Mahomes. But you look at the Raiders; they're giving up so much in these games, and that's what's going to end up killing the Oakland Raiders in this game. And so that takes us to the top of the hour, but we're going to stay right here. We're not going to break. We're going to finish up the few games that we have left. Looks like we got 3 left to go, and then we got to make a decision about this. I just don't trust the Raiders, Cuervo. And that's just what it boils down to. When I'm looking to pick this game, I want to have a team that I feel confident. If I'm going to pick the team to win, I want to feel confidence going into the game. And especially again at this time of the year, Cuervo, December is pretender contender time, and we'll find out. Hey, if the Raiders win here today, I'm going to tell you right now they deserve it, and I hope they win the division. And here's another thing up on top of that. Wouldn't that be great if the Kansas City Chiefs didn't even make the playoffs? That would just be wonderful, and lose it to either the Colts or the Titans. That'd just be that would just make or the Houston Texans. That would just make it even better.
So, okay, so hold on. Let me see if I'm getting this right. So, in other words, what you're saying is that the AFC playoffs would be better without Patrick Mahomes. Are you crazy? You are crazy.
I think that the NFL is better without it. I just want to see it because I'm tired of the hype about how great Patrick Mahomes is. Okay, and this is when it pisses me off. Okay, I'll just be honest. When they're talking about him being the second coming, and even coming close to carrying Tom Brady's jock, it just turns me off of the player. Now, Patrick Mahomes, I like him, and it's the media that so yes. Even though the media is hyping it, I still want to see it go down. Even though I like Patrick Mahomes a lot, and mainly because to start comparing Patrick Mahomes to Tom Brady, it's an insult to Tom Brady, and it's the kind of thing that just really kind of pisses me off when I see it, and that's the reason why I kind of want to see it go down. I'm not brave enough to take the Oakland Raiders here today, Cuervo. I'll be honest. The Kansas City Chiefs are at home. It's a hard place to get a victory in the NFL in Arrowhead Stadium, but if you were going to do it, the last 2 years, they kind of let some games at home slip away that they probably shouldn't have. So, that's why I call this a mini marquee, because it would not shock me whatsoever if the Oakland Raiders did come out on top in this game. It just wouldn't shock me. And it would make me personally happy, but I'm not going to, I got too much value for my pick to go that way, because I don't see it happening at Arrowhead. But I will tell you this, Cuervo, Andy Reid had better have a good game plan for this game, because the Oakland Raiders, what they are is they're not predictable. They are completely unpredictable right now, and that is advantage Oakland in reality, because guess what? You know exactly what's coming your way with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of Mahomes to Hill or Mahomes to Kelsey.
Yep.
I mean, that's really what you get with the Kansas City Chiefs. But it just seems like all this criticism about John Gruden seems like his plan is coming into place now. You know what I'm saying? So.
That's if you believe he can have that plan, because he's a coach that likes to ride the coattails.
Can you say that about this team, though? I mean, think about it. Last year, the Raiders were.
No, I'm just saying he's actually got to build something, Cuervo. That's my point. The guy hasn't been able to really build anything throughout his career, and he gets the 10-year, $10 million a year contract, guaranteed $100 million contract. You better be able to come up with something. Now, is it on the right track? Absolutely. But also, you got to remember, as much as I hate to say, God, I hope that we don't see Derek Carr become that old quarterback, because he is not a spring chicken anymore. He needed to start at this 2 years ago when he was on that MVP level, and now you're getting him 3 years later, and that's 3 more years of time against the guy that, right now, as much, and I love me some Derek Carr. In fact, he was one of the reasons why I picked him to win the Super Bowl, is because of how good that guy really is. So I hope that he can be that guy. And just to kind of put it to rest, I want to see maybe the Oakland Raiders actually do this. So maybe I don't have any more, firepower to throw at John Gruden for not being a guy that can build a football team, because I've been doing it for years. I've been talking about it for years.
Yeah, I mean, and people know John Gruden is the guy that took over for Tony Dungy's work and produced all the credit. By the way, anybody that picked the Dolphins to win is not looking good already. Ryan Fitzpatrick is already throwing an interception.
Wow! So. All right, how about that?
10 seconds into the game.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, he's not Ryan Fitzmagic. I told you. See, that's what also can cut your career really short. It's called a stupid, very stupid nickname. And guess what? That's what ended up happening. A very stupid nickname brought up on him. So, more power to it. So I am going to go Kansas City, and just my heart will be on my heart will be for Oakland, just so I could see Kansas City not be in it as well. So both of those teams got some stuff that they're going to do. That having been said, our next game that's up on tap, the New England Patriots 10-1, the Houston Texans 7-4. This right here is a great game to have at nighttime. And the main reason is because you get to see kind of, I don't want to say Lamar Jackson type, because I really honestly think Deshaun Watson is not Lamar Jackson at all. I think Watson will stay in the pocket a lot longer than what we'll see with Jackson. So that makes him more of a pocket passer, but he's got the ability to do it. But the way New England lost that game to the Baltimore Ravens it's got me sneaking. And it starts right up here because I say it out loud, and then it finally hits the back of my brain and then go up, and then it digests up in this big old cranium that the Texans actually have an opportunity to win this football game if they go outside of the norm. And the outside of the norm is not keeping Deshaun Watson in the pocket. Going outside the norm is getting this guy on the run. And while he's on the run, keep his head up and downfield to see if he can find that open wide receiver there, Cuervo.
And they got a hell of a receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. And look, don't sleep on Will Fuller either. I mean, he's a guy that can come out and hurt you.
Absolutely.
You forget about Will Fuller and you sleep on him, he can have big games against you. So I think that's obviously. I think New England has a plan to slow Hopkins down. And again, I'm making another bold move in my fantasy lineup, Sonny. I'm benching DeAndre Hopkins in my lineup. So I'm going to see how that plays out.
You benched him. Well, you can say whatever you want. By the way, just along your point, I'll throw this out. I wasn't going to give this, but until you mentioned Mr. Badass Will Fuller in the past 2 games at home, over 357 yards a game, 3 touchdowns in those 2 games in Houston. Okay, so that's say whatever you want. Mr. Will Fuller is a badass, but that defense that you're talking about, Cuervo, it really does come into play. And especially there's a lot riding on this game, as the Patriots right now are the lone AFC team that can actually clinch a playoff berth this week with a win, with losses from Pittsburgh and Oakland. Although when I did this and I was doing that, the Saints, they're the only team in the AFC. The NFC has the Saints. So if we see a Patriot victory, we got 2 games all set, and people are already talking about the Saints and the Patriots in the Super Bowl anyway. And it's only fitting that it happens this way, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got some action. Oh, looks like San Francisco has just scored, Sonny.
Wow.
So, yeah, Niners are up. I didn't catch how they scored, but it looks like Garoppolo threw one. So, but anyways, yeah, I mean, it's hard to not just assume that the Patriots are going to either make the Super Bowl or win it all.
Yes,
we're so used to seeing that.
Yes,
it's same old story, right? For a lot of people, it's boring, but for guys like you love it. So,
I do. I love seeing greatness in front of me, Cuervo, and that's one of the things about when you look at that, you people don't even realize the history that is right in front of them right now when you're looking at it. And the reason being is because you have a head coach over there that don't look at things, or forget them. He sees things in a different way that you're not going to see. You can sit there and have 2 different coaches sit there and try to break down what is going to end up happening. Let's say the Houston Texans, and Bill Belichick is going to come up and he's going to say something that you're not even thinking about. And, thinking about it, and listen, here's my banner. It says, he's raved about what you're going to get with Deshaun Watson and the challenges with the 18 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions in the last 7 games. Let me tell you, what he's putting out there publicly like that is absolutely not what he's looking at in this football game, Cuervo. Okay, because guess what? When guys like me already recognize it, Bill Belichick is about 12 or 20 plays ahead of us, and he says this just to get the get the people on top. Yep.
Time out, Sonny. This is why Bill Belichick is the mastermind. He does this every single week. He will praise the quarterback or somebody on the opposing team to get in their heads and to make them think that he actually has respect for them. And I'm sure he does, but it's a different story because now they're the opponent. So
yes.
Bill Belichick, He ain't fooling me. He's not fooling me. I know exactly.
Me either. See, but here's the thing: when we say that, we're sitting there watching this unfold, and sometimes I honestly will sit here and I have no place to say it. I think I'm smarter than some of these other people that play up against him because I know he's 20%. And if you fall for what he's putting out in the media and you're a coach, shame on you. And it's the reason why he's gonna. They should really change the Lombardi Trophy to the Belichick Trophy because it makes no sense for that to be happening. But really, in reality, though, when you look at this, at the Texans right now, this is a pressure game for them because of the AFC. There's another game that's happening against the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts, and if they drop this one, that's going to be a three-way tie sitting right at the top, or a two-way tie with the Indianapolis Colts as I picked the Tennessee Titans to win the game. Still right there chewing on behind. Again, only one team I think in reality is going to come out of this division into the playoffs. That's it. So it should be really interesting to see how the last 5 weeks of this division for the Houston Texans in the AFC South works. But what has to happen is we have to see some good play from Houston. And this is a Jekyll and Hyde football team. I put that out there a couple weeks ago after they lost a game that I really thought they should win. But what they're running into is a defense that is allowing only the second fewest yards in the NFL, who has a 20 interception lead on any of them out there. This is a football team that is kicking ass and taking names and not looking back. And they, going back to that, they're going to be, if they get the victory today, the team that clinches in the AFC, the first one. And that right there, when you start coasting, and you're 11, you're going to be 11-1. They need to win one more game that's just not up home field advantage, and it won't even matter, Cuervo.
Yeah, and there's only one team in the NFL that has clinched. And congrats to the New Orleans Saints.
Yep,
they're the first team to clinch on Thursday, just because they locked the division up. It has nothing to do with the 1 seed or the 2 seeds. They won their division. That's why I always say that's the most important thing to do is compete and beat and win your division, because you're guaranteed the playoffs if you do that. So, but I fully expect New England to win tonight, and I fully expect them to be the first team to clinch in the AFC.
Well, let's talk a little bit about injuries just really quick for the New England Patriots. They've lost a couple of key players to the injured reserve list. James Devlin, the rookie, and Jacob Johnson, who started 3 games. Both of those guys are on IR. So what have they done? They've made a makeshift backfield, Cuervo. So they're using the linebacker Roberts to block in the backfield, also to help Tom Brady find the open wide receivers, which is something that, that's Bill Belichick-ish, bringing in a linebacker, and watch out. Bill Belichick will get this guy on the screen. He'll rumble down the field for about 35 yards up on top of it. So, but, you are right. I mean, the Patriots are just that much better.
Yeah.
But Cuervo, this is my upset of the week. It might even be my upset of the year. I am going to pick the Houston Texans in this game. And it's not because I think they're a better football team. And I'm not saying that this is a football team right now in the New England Patriots that are 10-1. They've been in some close football games. Lamar Jackson, if they decide to go Lamar Jackson on him, they're going to lose this football game. And again, they're the class of the AFC. I'm sorry, they are, and they always will be. But you know what? For them to win out for the rest of the season, I just don't see it. And usually they lose against teams they have no business losing, a la Miami at Miami last year. So, and they do this. They'll drop a game. And guess what? It don't matter. It matters nothing to them. And the only thing that makes me leery about that pick is, how about damn Cowboys taking a loss to the Denver Broncos on Thanksgiving? By the way, my pick, just to let you know, I was the only one, just right here.
Yeah, I know.
So if, and I don't think they are, if the Patriots are feeling any pressure, it's because of that win on Thursday. But that's not the way they play. They're never worried. They're never in and that's the reason why. And sometimes they'll get a little bit too lax. Yeah, I said it, but again, it doesn't matter if they lose this football game. It matters absolutely nothing. They're going to tie up home field advantage throughout the playoffs like they always do. And this game is going to be in the backfield, and they don't care about it. And that's the huge thing, I think, in this game is that if they don't care about it, Cuervo, it's going to be real interesting a game to watch. And this one's on prime time, and I'm actually looking forward. This one's Sunday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's Sunday Night Football, and I'm really looking forward to that one. I'll even sit through commercials for this, especially if I end up right. I'm going to look like a genius.
I mean, not that we have a choice.
So, but the question is, Cuervo, are you interested in changing your pick? Are you going to hang out there? I mean, did I give you a convincing enough argument to go ahead and say, yeah, I'm going to change my pick? I am going the Houston Texans.
I mean, trust me, I have a lot of love for the Texans. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I got a lot of.
I don't know why.
Texans fans and whatnot, but I mean, how often does New England lose these type of games? You know, even though it's regular season, it's week 13, they probably don't care too much about actually trying to win this game. Yeah. How often do they actually lose these games? You know, that's the way I see it.
That right there is the reason why I think, you know, that they might just let it slide. You know, what does it matter? Because when you've got the best of both worlds, that being the best quarterback in the NFL to ever play the game, and everybody's talking about how he slid. He's not the best this year, but he's going to be the one that can sure bite you in the ass, along with the best coach that ever coached the game. And again, I'm back to. It'll never happen, but I would love them to see the change it into the Bill Belichick, cup, and that's never going to happen. But and again, the Patriots are a better football team, but it'll just depend on how it is. Plus, they have to fly a little bit, so they're not at home. If this game was at Gillette, they don't have. Listen, Houston don't have a chance in this game. If this game is in Gillette, so it should be interesting. So that might be my upset of the year pick up there. Actually, Arizona, if they would have got that victory against 49, might have been a better one.
Yeah, that almost happened too.
Right there. Yeah, it's right there. So that being said, that's going to take us to Monday Night Football. I'm glad you could hang out with us and watch football, and we can cover them all the way we like to cover them all. It is Monday Night Football gets the Minnesota Vikings, and they are going to be taking on – who are they getting? Oh, the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, Seattle, Minnesota.
Important game as this one rolls into it. As you look at Minnesota 8-3, having a good season in the North with your Chicago Bears, kind of putting them in the pasture. Seattle Seahawks 9-2. They're in an interesting situation as well, because we talked about the NFC East on how only one team could possibly end up happening. It's because the North is so good. You got the Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay doing what they're doing, and then you throw it to the West. If you throw it to the West where you have the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers, the Minnesota Vikings, I think are going to make the playoffs. But I think Seattle, in reality, this is a game where they have something to prove. Because when you look at this kind of game, and also let's just go back and how Sonny doesn't think about history very much, but for the second straight year, they're going to host the Vikings late in the season. And I'll tell you right now, say whatever you want, primetime matchups come out with, whether it's, the praise or hope for a playoff spot or positioning for a playoff spots, these games always come in to play each and every year. And this one, it's no short of that, because I think we're going to end up seeing that when you do it, as they're one game behind the 49ers in the NFC West, and they meet in week 17 against the 49ers as well. So a very vital game for them today, even though it's not a division game. I think they need to get this victory to stay in pace with the 49ers. And also, say whatever you want about home field advantage, in Seattle, it's just a totally different monster up there.
Are you talking about playing in Seattle?
Yeah, when you're in a playoff situation and you're set to go into play in the playoff, do you really want to go to Seattle to play in a playoff spot? I as much as I sometimes used to hate the Seattle Seahawks, but love them now because they got rid of the League of Bungholes, or the Legion of Bungholes. I think they're just that much better now, and it might even get louder there. Maybe it's me. It is. I just didn't like the players that were on that team, and they look more like a professional football team. The jaw jacking is gone. It's all about serious football. It's about doing things the right way. And as much as I don't want to give Pete Carroll a lot of credit for a lot of things that he's done, he's been able to take a team from one extreme and take it to completely in another, and he's having success. So, and I'm going to say this now because I don't want anybody to say it. Pete Carroll is the coach of the year this year. And if you're not thinking about him, or you don't think he's in the plane, you're not watching football. You're not seeing what he's done from one year to the next, losing what they had on the defensive side of the ball compared to what they got now. Russell Wilson coming into the MVP place where he's at right now. Pete Carroll and right now, I'm telling you right now, Pete Carroll is my pick for coach of the year because I don't think anybody's even close, Cuervo.
Well, I mean, no love for John Harbaugh, no love for Kyle Shanahan with what they're doing.
No,
because those are the two that everybody's talking about. You know what I mean? So, but Pete Carroll's one that I haven't heard anybody mention, but I'm not going to discount it either because for what Seattle has done this year, and not just record-wise, but I mean some of the moves that they've made too. They traded for Jadeveon Clowney.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, that was so big. That was so big.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to stick to my guns. Houston was dumb for trading him. I'm sorry. It was not.
Oh God, they were dumb. We said that 2 years ago. They should have got rid of Watts 2 years ago, and yet you give away a first-round draft pick in what you get with Clowney. What the hell are you thinking? If anybody deserved the money more than Watts, it was Clowney. Why the hell are you doing that? Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I will disagree with that. Until the end of time, that Houston should have kept Jadeveon Clowney and possibly traded. And I get it. I get why they don't trade J.J. Watt away because he means so much to the city of Houston, and that's completely cool. I have nothing against that. It's just from a football business perspective, you benefit by being able to see what you can get for him, and I think they could have gotten more.
Oh God, they could have draft picked that thing forever. Sort of like what they did, as far as the Jacksonville Jaguars did, grabbing up what they grabbed up to lose their defensive superstar. And you can say whatever you want. That was a great for both Well, I'll say for both teams, but right now it's not kind of working out very well for the Rams right now, but that's just because they just kind of stink a little bit. But in the long run, that might have been a really good play for the Rams, but also for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And getting back, and you're right, I think they gave up too little in order to let this guy walk out the door. It makes no sense in reality. But it is what it is. But this game, as far as what could end up happening, the Vikings are a football team. They right now have the 2-game lead over the Rams for the wild card spot. Now we're talking about the North. It's going to Minnesota or Green Bay, whoever ends up winning that division. So that is huge. And then then it's a battle for the rest of them. But when I was looking at this game, and I go to the fact, and we've talked about it on this show, it's now time to find out if Kirk Cousins is going to step up and be the guy going up against the guy. And Kirk Cousins right now, passer rating is leading right now. Wilson is second. Wilson has 24 touchdowns. Cousins has 21. So it's time for a guy like a Kirk Cousins to step up to the plate and say, okay, this is where I need to make my money. Everybody talked about everything, but this game right here is one of the most important in his career as far as the future is concerned. If he's going to get that cash, Cuervo, and in the reason being, it goes up against a quality football team they have no business beating right now. I'll put it out there right now. I don't think the Minnesota Vikings should be able to beat the Seattle Seahawks. Not only that, in Seattle. So if Kirk Cousins gets the victory, this guy's going to get some money. I think so anyway.
Well, first of all, we all know Kirk Cousins is getting his money no matter what because it's all guaranteed.
Yeah,
all of it. But the second thing is I'm looking at your banner here, talking about how many touchdown passes Russell Wilson has compared to Kirk Cousins. I think this is it's a little unfair for Kirk Cousins to be compared to Russ in that aspect, and that's simply because, and it's not because I have love for Kirk Cousins. All right.
Yeah.
It's because Minnesota has the better running game right now.
Without question.
So they don't have to rely on Kirk Cousins throwing for 4 touchdowns a game like they do in Seattle with Russell Wilson, because the running game in Seattle is very suspect right now. Chris Carson can have 120 yards and 2 touchdowns one game, and like Derrick Henry have 51 yards and a fumble the next week. So to me, you don't need Kirk Cousins to do as much in Minnesota as Seattle needs Russell Wilson to produce.
Absolutely.
Because the balance in Minnesota is unbelievable right now. In so many different ways. The only downfall for Minnesota right now is that Adam Thielen he's more or less health wise. Like he's in and out.
Yeah, you never know what he's like. A box of chocolates. I mean, in reality,
there you go.
So, but and I didn't put this up to contradict what you said. One game doesn't mean anything. But Rashard Penny last week against the Eagles rushed for 129 yards, and got a 58-yard touchdown pass. And I'll go back to, not to downplay what you say. Every blind dog will find a bone every once in a while, because really it's not about the running game in Seattle at all. You're absolutely right. If they're going to win a game, it's going to be regarding Russell Wilson and when he can do, and what you're talking about, the wide receivers and Adam Thielen. Right now, with the bye last week was huge for Minnesota. And also they get tackle Klein and nose tackle Joseph and Harris. All those guys they're nicked up. And so they had to take advantage of the bye week in order for them to get set for this game. But, I don't know where I look at this game. Yeah, exactly. I look at the game and I went, and this is the reason why. Seattle Seahawks, they forced 16 turnovers in the past 6 games. Okay, that's 8 in the past 2. The defense is outstanding up there in Seattle, and I don't know. I mean, when I looked at the game, I immediately said to myself, well, Minnesota, they got a pretty good defense. Hey, if you sleep up on the Seattle Seahawks defense, you can end up losing. So right now, I look at, okay, let's say the defense marks themselves out. Special teams, they mark themselves out. What are we left with, Cuervo? Only one position, quarterback. Who's the better quarterback? To me, it came out to be a very simple pick for me on who I was going to pick in this game to win. Although I want Minnesota to win because I want them to knock Green Bay out of there because, like a true Bears fan, we hate.
There you go.
So I put that in for you because I know you'd love that.
That's why there you go.
But I just don't know. I do like Brandon Cooks a lot, but at the same time, Seattle, they're coming together at a good time as well. But that division of football, I don't think Seattle wants to be too far behind the 49ers. I think they're out there to win that division, and the reason being, that's a home game. Regardless if it's a wild card game or not, that's a home game, and that's what they want. And they want that home field advantage. I'm all over Seattle in this one. In fact, I'm gonna say they're gonna beat them by 2 touchdowns, Cuervo, because I don't think Kirk Cousins has the intestinal or testicular fortitude to stand up against the Seattle defense and make any kind of progress in that game in order for him to win.
Well, this is very true. I mean, when Kirk Cousins got pressure in his face, he folds like a lawn chair. So, I mean, that is a knock that I think is fair against Kirk Cousins. Is this game is it in the 12th man?
It's in Seattle.
Oh yeah, the 12th man. Okay.
12th man too. Right. Yep. And Monday Night Football, all eyes are up on this, and I think Russell Wilson's a superstar. He's a superstar. By the way, did you know he's married to Sierra, or that singer?
Son, what planet have you been on? Everybody knows that.
I didn't know that. Well, I had to remind myself who she was, so I had to throw some music. I was like, oh, okay, I know who she is. She's a newer artist.
Well, if anybody knows, it's your daughter. If anybody knows, it's your daughter. There you go.
So, it's going to be a great game on Monday Night Football. That's the way you said it. Another marquee game. Really, only 2 marquee games. You got a mini marquee, and you have 2 marquees, and one of them's in prime time.
It's going to be a great NFL weekend. So
absolutely. And it's only going to get better because of the fact that they are playing the division foes for mostly the rest of this season. So division games are what it's all about at the end of and the NFL figured that out. I'm glad they did figure it out, because you can say whatever you want about the football schedules and things of that sort. But I do like me a little bit of having good playoff games at the end of the season. That's what we get.
And then next week starts off very strong as well, huh?
Absolutely. Thursday night football. And listen, I've already called it. I called it on the last show. The Dallas Cowboys aren't going to win that game. And I heard that it's going to be mild. And get this, Cuervo, only a 10% wind or 10 mile an hour wind going there. But when it's the Dallas Cowboys, who are not they don't have a clue what element football is all about. All you got to do is take a step back and look at the New England Patriots game. They're completely lost in the element. And listen, I hear it's gonna be nice, but if it drops down, it gets even more cold. I'm just even more on the Bears. The more cold it gets in Chicago on Thursday night, the more the Bears are gonna win. Now, that's giving them a lot of play, but it's not going to be because of Mitchell Trubisky. It's going to be that defense is going to eat up the Dallas Cowboy offense. I'm telling you right now. It has nothing to do with Mitchell Trubisky. Hell, he fought back up on Thanksgiving Day and got the win. Congratulations. But again, if that was Matthew Stafford in the lineup, they would have lost that damn football game.
It's one game. And you know what's funny about that, Sonny, real quick, because I know we're half an hour in the red zone already. I know you want to get to it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Some Bear fans just drive me crazy. You know why? Because it was one game. And now everybody's like, let's sign him to an extension. Find out. Hold on. It's the first of all, it was one game, dude. All right. Look, am I happy that Mitch played a great game? Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Played so far this year. Okay. Best game he's played so far this year. But am I ready to sign him for another 4 years? No. Absolutely not.
No, and by the way, even with that good game, the rumors are swirling more about Cam Newton heading up there. So even after that game, he had a pretty good, halfway decent performance. They're still talking about bringing on Cam Newton over there. And by the way, when I started hearing that rumor, Cuervo, I didn't buy it for a second. But there's too much talk going on right now. There's too much talk. And usually when there's too much talk,
but a lot of it, Cam has been making that a big rumor too, because he's publicly come out and said I would be open to being traded to Chicago.
Yes.
So I'm just like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, let's do this.
Hey, and I even heard the rumor that Khalil Mack is part of the trade, and that kind of caused the rift in the media as well.
What did you just say?
I'm not stuttering. I promise. Some of those rumors were talking about taking and putting in play a Khalil Mack, not straight up, because obviously Khalil Mack is 10 times better than what you're getting with Cam.
So we would trade Khalil Mack to Carolina
for Cam Newton and a bunch of other stuff. That was coming out. No, you can't do it. You're right. You can't do it. You shouldn't do it. Don't do it. You got to keep Khalil Mack there. You got to keep listen, that guy just walked up on the football field last year and became the anchor. I mean, evidently anybody else on the football team didn't have enough weight. And Khalil Mack just solidified himself as the anchor of that defense, and he wasn't even part of the team 3 years before that. So, you're talking about a badass, and you don't get. If you're the monsters of the Midway, you don't get rid of a badass like that. It's just what you don't do, So, but that's about where we're at. So. Hey, we knocked them out. I'm glad that we were able to stay on. And plus the video is just so much better, so much easier. Yeah. And, it made life a lot. It made it a little bit harder for the commercials, but I'll live through that. And I'll figure out a way. But we were able to get through the commercials and get those all set for everybody. So I'm really happy about that. So that's going to do it for us, Cuervo. I don't know if you have anything else going up on it. Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, because we still have 7 hours of football to go, so we got plenty to watch. Is there anything else you want to cover, or are we pretty much done here today?
I think I'm good, Sonny. We broke all the games down, talked about the Monday night game. We even talked about Thursday night. So I think we're good.
I think we are good too.
I know we talked off air about doing something during the week. I guess we'll keep in touch so everybody kind of
we got to see how that works out. I know. Just because I wanna is either a Wednesday, Thursday afternoon time when you might want to be. But yours is like, what time you go to lunch?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, the best time for me would probably be 11 a.m. my time, which is 1 o'clock p.m. your time. Probably for about a good 30 to maybe 45 minutes.
We'll check that out. I think we might be able to do that. It'll be either Wednesday or Thursday. Okay. So check out that. Just because I wanna try, and we could try. You're going to probably be on your cell phone. We'll see if the cell phone video portion works on that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm good with the video. It'll just be phone call.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll check that out and we'll see how that goes. So, but that's going to do it for us on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Again, thanks for joining us. We had the Eagle Eye Bill Cerna talking Arena Football League and their demise and what's going to mean for the other leagues, that especially the league I'm in and the other leagues that are out there. And then we got the man himself, the MVP of the Couch Potato Sports Show, Cuervo, joining us here and knocking down all the games here. And I'm glad we were able to do it. So that's going to do it for us on the Couch Potato Sports Show. Join us next week. We'll keep you abreast. Check out my Facebook for some of the scheduled things and we'll get it all set. So for Cuervo on the other side, I'm Sonny Clark, the hardest working man in sports radio. We're out of here, everybody. Take care. We'll check you next time.